everybody? This is Cooligans, and in the first segment, we're talking about Rocco Camiso on USS, making all the news, breaking Twitter. Also, it's a Cooligans' birthday. It's my birthday. It's Alexis' birthday. It's also your birthday. You know, it's a very joint birthday. Also, we go to WFAN. We are on TSS. We're doing the Cooligans media tour.
In the second segment, we talked to Jillian Sakovits and we talked to Susannah Cooligans. You know who they are if you watch any MLS content. We brought them in, but we had a lot of them. We told them it was a brunch, but we actually made it a brunch. We got us a couple of drinks. We got us a couple of cured meats, some cheeses. We made it a whole event.
And in the third segment, we go over all the games. There was so much going on. Oh my God, Atlanta! Are they going to lose? No, they're not. They're not going to lose.
They just won't be better than NYCFC.
They wouldn't dare. Also, Christian Teixeira, keep your shirt on. If you take your
more players need to take their shirts off.
If you take your shirt off, you also go into the locker room. That's what Christian Teixeira is trying to do. So we talk about a bunch of the games. So all this and more today on the Cooligans.
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby.
You're
for all the people who came to our party.
You're is one of those it's like one of the first New York slang things where I started feeling old.
Because it happened after you.
No, I mean,
after you were cool.
Not posthumously. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, this would be. Then this podcast is just me talking to myself.
No, it was just one of the newer ones where I was just like, oh, I didn't even see the build up to this one.
I feel like I was a part of it, even though I know I wasn't, because I feel like I was like I feel like I was saying that before it became cool.
Sure, because usually you hear people saying things before you hear like in a rap song.
Yeah,
and this was just like I already heard the hip hop a community already saying it. And
before
I'm like,
you heard about it.
And I'm like, yo, who are these fools saying this dumbass thing?
That'll never catch on. What do you mean you've been doing it for years? If you don't know what it is, it's just what you say when you walk in a room. There was an old meme that I started laughing because I didn't realize it was like a popular thing. I knew I was doing it. But it's like everyone's looking one way and just one guy like shockingly looking the opposite way.
Yeah.
And it's like when you at a party out of town and you hear someone say yurt and you know another New Yorker walked in the room.
Yeah.
I love that one.
That's the homing beacon.
Yeah, so if you walk in a room, you're just like, yeah. You know, it's like other New Yorkers and be like, hey, and that's it. You just had a conversation.
So I love how we start the show, and if there's ever a new listener, they're gonna be like, what the hell is this quote unquote soccer show that I'm supposed to be listening to?
And also, how come they're not talking about soccer? Also, who are they? By the way, we should introduce ourselves because we've got a lot of new fans.
Yeah, that's right. Very, very excited. Look, welcome to the show. If you are a new listener, this is we've been on a little bit of a media tour.
We've been hitting the junket, the press junket.
What are we selling? We got nothing to sell.
No, baby, we're selling ourselves, and nobody's buying. Hey,
please purchase our bodies.
Yeah, buy. Bye.
So, look, we'll start off. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Cooligans. We are your favorite stand-up comedians that host a soccer podcast. This is not only the funniest soccer podcast, it's not only
the gulliest soccer podcast, it's also the
yuriest soccer podcast.
It's the most podcast of all time.
It's highly yurt. So now that you've shut this off,
now that we've annoyed you,
look, we've been
on what, Sirius XM FC.
Yes.
We were on Total Soccer Show. Earlier today, we were on 1010 Wins. If you don't know what 1010 Wins is, you don't know what yurt means, all right? Like, 1010 Wins is the official news station in New York. It's just that in the background.
It's weather on the ones, you know?
Yeah, come on now. It's like the NY1 of the radio. It's one of those things that's just been around forever. It's
local New York radio, but it is a staple.
It's what I was listening to during September 11th. I switched to that.
It's a staple of the city. It's a very important, radio station.
Yeah, it's super important. So, we were asked to be on it. Of course, you've got a credible news agency.
We walked in.
Who do they want besides the Cooligans?
We walked into 1010 Wins. We were like, yurt.
And they were like, they shut the radio off for a second. Every anchor person was like, yurt. And we're like, all right, we cool.
Okay, we're good. All right, you guys are legit.
Yeah. I was like, yo, where's Larry Wachtel? For all my old heads who remember him giving out stock advice, man. When I was a kid driving in the car, he would, in my mom's car, he would be like, you gotta buy the stock of Disney. don't let the rosebuds get you. Whatever. He had like a whole thing at the end. And he sounded like a mush mouth New Yorker. It was the greatest.
Yeah,
it was the greatest way to get advice.
I didn't really grow up with 1010 Wins that much. I wasn't into just news radio.
No, my mother was just like, "What's the tráfico, coño?" And we put that on because they got the information before it happened. They were like, "Yo, there's going to be an accident in 35 seconds. You might want to watch out." They're like the best.
And that's exactly how they spoke as well. So
Larry Wachtel did. I'm going to Google Larry Wachtel.
So we're excited to do these shows. But yes, welcome. If there's a lot of people from Total Soccer Show, they heard our interview and said a lot of nice things. So thank you. Daryl Grove, and thank you, Taylor Rockwell, for Taylor wasn't there, but Taylor, I'm sure in spirit, was interviewing us as well.
Yeah, he was there.
But Daryl was awesome, and I
also, with the way we've rallied against the Brits, it was really nice to have an Englishman interview us. I was like, he's going to call us to the carpet, but he actually defended our stance on anti Liam Ridgewell rant that you did. I remember you were very disrespectful.
Everybody knows me as king of Polanc rant.
Polanc rants.
That's a hit. It's a hit show.
Yeah.
But no, the show was a lot of fun. I listened to. I didn't re-listen to our interview because we experienced the interview.
Oh, I re-listened to them all.
But
turn your mic off in it.
The introduction that Daryl did for us was very nice and very sweet, and it's cool to have such a knowledgeable soccer guy be supportive of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's the most important thing about what they do is the fact that, one, they've been around for a long time, and two, they talk about American soccer with the level of respect that not everyone else does.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all the
men who wear blazers. So I love the fact that they're around, and they do 5 episodes a week. Which, let's be honest, if you add all 5, it's probably shorter than our episodes or one episode. But it's they're one of those podcasts that we both listen to and we're both fans of. So to be asked to do it is absolutely incredible.
It was great. Yeah. So thank you again.
To our new listeners, what's
TSS
up? Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
My name is Alexis Guerreros because I know he didn't mention it in the show.
We didn't. Yeah. My name is Christian Polanco, and this is what we sound like. And like we mentioned on the show, just a comedy podcast.
Daryl said that Alexis is the slightly deeper voice. And that was his way of saying Christian is the one with the bitch ass voice.
Yeah, that's totally something Daryl would say.
That's word for word what Daryl wanted to say. He texted me and I was like, dude, don't do that. Don't you disrespect. Also, not only that, maybe we have some new listeners from the Cooligans bash that we threw.
Yes, we happy. Oh, well, I should say that. Happy birthday, Alexis.
Happy birthday to you, Christian. Yours was yesterday. Now that we're recording this, yours was on Monday. Mine is today on Tuesday. I know you guys are listening on Wednesday, but yeah, my birthday's today. Yours was yesterday. But we threw ourselves a hell of a bash.
Yeah,
on
a lot
Friday.
of people came out. That was awesome.
Fans of the show came out.
Fans of the show, the comedians.
Tons of comedians, tons of pizza people. Paulie G was there.
Paulie G, the OG.
The OG Paulie G. Well, actually, he's only been around for a few years. But yeah, Paulie G. Paulie G came out. Scar and Emmett couldn't make it because they were both traveling. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool. My favorite part had to be, we got a lot of NYCFC friends.
A lot of them
came through. Shout out.
And by the way, our ladies hooked it up with this beautiful cake from Sugar Monster. If you don't know who Sugar Monster is, you sleeping, dog. You need to wake up. Someone needs to come in your crib and yell "yurt" because you need to wake your ass up.
That's my alarm clock sound.
It's just yurt. You're like, yo, my homies are here. I gotta get up. I'm good. What up? Yeah, we got Sugar Monster's awesome. She did the 50th show cake for Billy Joel for his 50th Madison Square Garden show. And she remade Madison Square Garden in a cake. It was really awesome. I've known her for...
We're above Madison Square Garden?
And that's why we're mentioning it.
How fitting is all this?
Maybe they just do that with like a little elevator up at the top for us. I met her doing Kitchen Clash, which is that cooking competition. She was one of the chefs on it. And her and her husband became fast friends with us and me and my wife. Nonetheless... We're talking like a $400 cake that she gave us for not $400. So thank you, ladies, for negotiating that. It was awesome. It had like the Brooklyn Bridge on it. It had a banner on the front that said the gulliest.
It was incredible. I did not expect that.
She hand painted the Cooligans logo and put it as a topper. I mean, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the picture of the cake, it's on our Instagram page and on Twitter. But at Soccer Cooligans, just take a look at it. It's unreal. I did not expect that at all. It was very, very sweet of them.
And if you're getting a cake for an event, I mean, not to give her a free plug, but go to Sugar @Sugar_Monster with 2 R's. And check it out, man. They're doing wonderful things.
It was incredible. Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite part was we had a lot of NYCFC friends there. Shout out to Joe Chadwick, Teresita, Dave Monsión, Yusef,
Oscar,
dude,
all the NYC 12 dudes.
Juano
Neil,
everybody was there.
Everybody came out.
It was incredible.
My man with the turkey leg came through.
But
he hates that we keep bringing
then
it up.
Eric and Lindsay who are from Portland but live in Brooklyn.
And he wore the Tulialoma Parley kit. I mean, just shirt roasting us.
It was great, especially after that loss. Everybody was just like, "Yo, who this?"
Everybody was like, "Yo, why you got Portland fans up in here?
Yo, talk to your man, son.
Yeah.
What is this all?"
You're not allowed in here.
So it was cool. Yeah, also Andy and Mariano were there as well, making another appearance. It was great. So thank you everyone who came to the party. That we had a good time. I hope you did as well.
It was literally our podcast. It was a meeting of pizza, comedy, and soccer all in one.
And yeah,
pizza's first.
My the Soylent people that I invited did not show up, and I was very disappointed.
They were actually too weak to walk down the stairs. They were just too physically weak to come down the stairs.
We started the show doing all the years, right?
Yeah.
And it's always fun because I always feel like people who are not from New York are starting to they have to learn a new vocabulary.
They have to pick up a new dialect.
It's New York, it's Cuba, it's DR, it's Washington Heights.
Well, we talked about it when I was in Ireland, MLS Ireland. Sean McGrinder came through and he was like, you guys use a lot of Dominican slang. And I was like, yeah, oh, wow, that's really must be difficult for you. I mean, he's never met a Dominican person.
It's very, very obscure for him. But we got a review that I loved on iTunes. And if you haven't left a review on iTunes, please do that. It's very, very helpful and helps us climb the iTunes rankings. But we got one from an LAFC listener who said, and because we were talking about some of the people, a couple things. We were talking about the NYCFC fans that are mad at us when we do anything with anyone from any other team.
No other team exists.
No other team exists. We're not allowed to talk to them. But he did. He goes, his name is Your LA Brother on iTunes.
Hey.
And he goes, have been listening to you guys for a couple of weeks, and after you were out here in Los Angeles visiting the new LAFC digs, love your show. Always laugh out loud. Though as somebody from LA, I've got to listen with the dictionary. I'm now almost fluent in Dominican or whatever that is. and he goes, and then he tries to poach us. He goes, if you aren't getting enough love from NYCFC fans, you are certainly welcome in LA.
Hey, look at that! Look at that!
I mean, it's quite an offer, but no thanks, bruh.
No, we good out here, but also that's very nice of you.
Very nice of you saying. I'm glad
we'll take the weather,
picking up
and the tacos,
picking up on a little bit of Dominican slang. ¿Qué lo que? Dímelo, maní.
¿Qué lo que?
So maybe we'll try to include. I feel like people get to.
It's nice that people are listening and saying "Dike."
That's man. If that was like a thing that was more. That's a thing that from like when I'm hanging out with my cousins, where it's just like we use Dike the way white girls use like.
Yes, 100%. Or like some people say like, or some bullshit. Like, be like, yo, so I went to the store, some bullshit, and I got me a bag of chips or some bullshit. You guys use the same thing, but it's at the beginning. It's just constantly.
Dike he went to the store. Like that.
Yeah. It's just everything is Dike. You start sentences with Dike. You know how like people know that we do the upside down question mark at the beginning of or the upside down exclamation point? Just replace all those with Dike, and that's exactly how Dominicans talk. But like, yo, legitimately, you'll know there's another Dominican in the room when one Dominican starts to say Dike a lot. You're like, uh-oh, they're amongst friends.
They might fuse together at some point. I think
they're going to become one Plátano.
All right. So,
also, I just want to say I met one of my idols, Joe Beningo.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even get to mention
I'm
that.
so sorry. If you don't know who Joe Beningo is, I mean, we're going to get really New York here.
Very New York references. But we took a tour of WFAN when we were at 1010 Wins. The WFAN is in the same.
And by the way, we're saying this while recording at a competitor.
A different radio station.
but we were asked to do 1010 Wins, which is a part of WFAN. You guys might know WFAN for being the former and now again future home of Mike Francesa, which was simulcast all over the country or whatnot. But So we were just walking around, and I said, when we started, I said I wanted to kind of be the Joe Beningo of soccer. I kind of like his style. Him and I are very similar.
And Joe Beningo, if you don't know this guy, is it safe to say he despises soccer?
Probably. I don't know that for sure, but I guarantee you he
just
does.
utterly disrespects it.
Yeah, but he's just one of those old New York sports guys where he's just like, even if the Jets win, if they didn't win by enough and the world is over and we need to fire every coach and how can we continue doing this? And he complains about the weather in New York and he says, I want to move to Florida. And he constantly says it. He's just one of those dudes that's just never happy. He is the guy at the deli who tells you he knows how to fix the Giants or the Jets. He got on the radio here in New York. He was a caller and he kept saying, I want to get my own show he was a caller for fuck's sake. And they told him, well, you got to go to school. And he actually went late in life. He went to he went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. He does commercials for them all the time. And then he got his own air checks. And then he got on WFAN.
He was like a 50-year-old guy, and like he was like that Steve Buscemi. Hey, fellow kids.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. He was in college, like, what are we doing? Still Quaaludes, And which he's got Spanish flying in his hands. And like, no, not anymore. Me too, bro. Me too. But nonetheless, he's just one of those old school guys, and he's just such a curmudgeon. I absolutely love it. And him and I are so similar. Like I was just saying, I've been complaining about the NYCFC, and they're like practically undefeated. They've only lost one game, and I'm like, I don't know. The defense still upsets me. Like, you got to be perfect in my eyes. So I actually got a chance to meet him, and the photo. I think we posted it on our Twitter, not our Instagram, right?
Both, yeah.
On both. Oh my God, man, I am cheesing so hard in that photo.
The happiest. I was telling Alexis.
It's my birthday too, so it kind of worked out perfectly.
It really was. I was just telling him it was like it was like watching a kid meet Mickey Mouse for the first time. It was the happiest. It's just this angry.
I'm still happy about it.
When Alexis meets angry New Yorkers, he's like, "Oh, are you my dad?
Oh my God!
Can
if
you
Joe
be my
Beningo
dad?
was my dad, I'd be so happy." I don't know if my dad likes soccer. Now that I thought of it, but it's just one of those moments where I got to meet him, and we told him, we're like, "Oh, we're stand-up comedians." He's like, "Oh, I love comedy. We do comedy here on the radio." Like, no, you don't. And then I'm like, "Yeah, and we do a podcast about soccer." The word podcast, he started to stop paying attention. As soon as I said soccer, he's like, "Well, boys, good luck with whatever it is you're doing. And, good luck with the soccer thing and the podcast or whatever." It was just so perfect.
It was cool. We got to be in the Boomer studio.
Yeah, Boomer and Geo now.
Boomer and Geo.
Yeah.
I don't know who Geo is.
We don't know who Geo is. We stopped watching once Carton went to jail. But Ponzi scheme, my guy.
Hey, that's how it's the Will Ponds. He got caught by the Will Ponds.
The Will Ponzi's. Yeah. Oh man, I love a guy who sees. What's the guy's name who went down for the whole thing? Not Bergdorf. What was his name?
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff. He sees Madoff go down for the whole thing. He thinks, yeah, I could do that, but on a smaller scale. What an idiot. I love it.
All right. Now that we got that stuff out of the way.
Hell of a birthday so far.
Yes. So let's...
you know what would be a birthday gift for both of us?
What?
If you left a 5-star review.
Oh, what a lovely birthday present.
Come on, especially some of our new listeners. If you're enjoying any of this, one, you must really be from New York. And two, thank you so much for listening. And just leave a little review, please. 5 stars.
We were talking about Sirius Radio. We were on Jason Davis' show, United States of Soccer.
USS, baby.
And on, was it yesterday, Monday? Rocco Camiso was on the show and just blew up soccer Twitter.
I mean, almost as much as we did.
But he's one of the guys that's capable of blowing up soccer Twitter. It's like him, Winalda. Certain comments can get people riled
Alexi
up.
Lalas could do it.
Alexi Lalas can get what was it? The Silva, the owner of
Roberto Silva.
Yeah,
Miami FC.
When a couple months ago, when he said he would invest $4 billion.
Oh, no, that was an offer. Yeah, that
was an offer for the rights.
10 years.
10 years for like the media rights.
For MLS.
For MLS, and he would offer $4 billion if they instituted promotion relegation. And obviously that didn't happen, or they didn't accept that offer.
They didn't even consider the offer, to be completely honest.
Rocco Camiso went on USS and was talking about he's the owner of the New York Cosmos, and he's very upset, and he's in the middle of a lawsuit with U.S. Soccer in regards to NASL and getting NASL back and up and running because they took away the D2 sanction that they had. So it basically
NASL's basically shut down for now.
Yes.
Some of those teams are playing in NPSL.
Yes. Or did any go to US? Some went to USL.
I don't know.
I don't know
sure,
which ones, but okay. But regardless, some teams are they're just basically just trying to stay afloat and play soccer somewhere.
Yeah.
But he was on there and he didn't make the $4 billion because $4 billion, when someone says $4 billion, it feels like in Austin Powers when Dr. Evil did the 1 million, like now, but the number because of inflation.
Yeah, because of inflation. But if somebody was in front of us and said $4 billion, we both immediately yell, "Take it!" What did we just agree to? We'll do it. What is it? Am I second date?
Yeah, it's whatever it is worth it.
Yeah. We'll do it. Don't tell our wives. Don't tell our girlfriends.
So, but Rocco Commisso made the offer of $500 million to fund NASL, to basically keep the whole NASL afloat. If
he gets the same level of, I guess, the same length of rope that MLS got when it started, which, when someone says like, "Oh, why weren't we D2?" and everyone's like, "Well, you didn't follow the D2 structure. You didn't have the teams on the West Coast. You didn't have the things you needed."
Yeah.
True. Now he says, "Look, I want to bring the league back. Give me the same clearance or give me the same, abatement that you gave MLS." All right. I can't argue with you now.
Yeah. So
you got the money for it. You're saying you're going to do it. The picture on the article is with Diddy, so I'm for it.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
I was like,
your old boss.
I also have a picture with Diddy, so maybe me and Rocco Commisso are also millionaires.
Buddy, if they need like $10 to finish off that $500 million.
Yo, I can add to the tip jar.
Cooligans invest $10. It's a picture of you with Diddy. I'm saying that should be something that's possible.
3 co-owners of NASL.
I put a picture I took with Guru of Gangstar. That's the closest I've gotten to Diddy. Huh? This guy's not investing anything, but he's at the craft table.
So the reason this shook things up is because, again, we've spoken about promotion relegation, and this was the stipulation, which he's basically saying, "I'll make this investment and keep NASL afloat and keep it, a strong soccer league, functional." If promotion and relegation is at least a part of the conversation, if like in 10 years.
No. He says he will institute promotion and relegation on his own.
Okay.
Yeah. If I read the article correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, he said that part of his plan for NASL is to have promotion and relegation.
Yes, but he does still want. He's trying. He
wants it to happen with MLS, but
yes, but he made an offer to Carlos Cordero himself and to say that to institute promotion relegation, and he would make this larger investment.
I think he's going to make this investment to bring NASL up, and he's going to have promotion relegation underneath him.
Okay,
then I think eventually he wants to tie that into MLS, which we've said on this show before. Stop tweeting at us. We're all for it. We don't necessarily think it has to happen today. It'd be nice on my birthday, but it's...
What a gift. I mean,
Carlos Beningo starts talking about it. This is amazing. Did you hear this? They're going to go up and down. I'm going to go down to Florida. I got to get out of here as soon as my contract is up.
Oh, man. I would love to see, to hear Joe Beningo explaining promotion relegation. Or just,
I would love to hear someone explaining to him promotion relegation. Let me get this straight.
So they go back to college?
They go to college? This is crazy. You become a high schooler again? I can't go back to high school. Then they're like, Joe, you're not going to high school. No one's going to high school. It would be amazing. You got 8-year-olds playing against professionals because they lost a couple games.
Is the sport like Benjamin Button? It goes backwards and upside down?
I got to be honest, this is crazy. I'm not for it. I blame Obama.
Oh, man. So we need more conservative soccer
By
guys.
the way, when we met some of the guys that work behind the scenes that you sometimes see like in the background, like shuffling papers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "You think promotion and relegation's coming to the MLS?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, I think it should come to baseball first.
Just what?
Stark quiet.
I mean, if they would have picked up like a mouse or a keyboard and threw it at you, I wouldn't have been surprised. They were so mad.
They were as angry. I was like, "Come on, you got AAA, AA, single A. Come on, it makes sense, huh?" And they were just like, "So who do you think is winning the World Cup?" They just ignored that I said those words.
They didn't even address him as a human being at the moment.
They're like, "So your name's Christian, huh?" They cut away from me so fast.
What is this tall desk doing talking over here?
Oh, this fat guy cardboard cutout is annoying all of us. Can we move him?
Oh,
They
man.
were so angry. I wish we were filming that.
So look, after I didn't. He actually didn't hear the interview. It was on Sirius, so I think they're gonna
we don't.
post it.
It's behind a paywall.
So,
So sorry,
think
Jason. We can't afford to listen to our own interviews.
I think they are going to. They usually repost like the big interview. So
Someone usually steals it and puts it on YouTube. So
Okay,
can
that's the
somebody
point.
do that? You know,
So you-
our friends on
you-
Bonfire. That
you-
happens to them all the
yeah,
time.
that's right. Yeah.
Big J and Dan Soder.
Big J and Dan Soder.
Those
So-
are our friends. And I was like, oh, I wish I could listen. He's like, let's go to YouTube
Oh,
the next
speaking
day.
of our friends, how about Michelle Wolf? What a week she's having.
Oh boy! And Anthony DeVito and Greg Stone for writing
That's
those
right.
jokes.
Michelle Wolf, if you didn't see her at the White House
Oh,
correspondence
trust me,
dinner,
everyone knows who she is now. Everyone. If you follow politics,
It's so crazy, and nothing makes me happier than seeing my friends, who especially who I started comedy with, and you know, Michelle Wolf used to do my open mic every week, and she.
As she was so disrespectful to Sarah Sanders back then. Sarah Huckabee Sanders back then at that open mic.
She's been consistent for years.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Back when she was just Mike Huckabee's daughter, I'm like, why are you going after Mike Huckabee's daughter? She hasn't really even done anything.
My God, she's pregnant. You know, I had to Google that to know that.
It was just surreal. So it's so fun seeing.
Also, why was Sarah Huckabee Sanders sitting there the whole time, every time at the open mic, just feet away from her, just very disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm like, I had to throw Michelle out a couple times. I'm like, this is
a
she's
bit
just
much.
she's just an old lady. I don't know. Actually, she's not even that old. I think she's like.
No, she's younger than us.
Yeah, I think she's like 31 or something
Yeah,
like that.
she's-
But she's. We can't talk about how women
I mean, I'm
look.
not-
We're not
I'm-
talking about how she looks.
All I'm gonna say is that she presents herself as a much older woman. Is all I'm gonna say. Someone a bit more mature than us is all I'm gonna say.
Oh, she's definitely more mature than us.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. We're not making fun of anybody. I mean, if anything, I mean we
So
don't.
yeah, shout out to Michelle because we basically started comedy together, and I love seeing people just up in arms about like
Jokes. About
jokes.
jokes.
And not only they were good jokes, and
Some of them fell flat, but that's what comedy is.
You expect it in that room. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody literally in that room is like they want you to fail.
No one brought up the Rachel Maddow jokes.
Oh, that's
Those aren't disrespectful all of a sudden.
Those were great. It was great. Yeah, she just flamed everybody. So
Yo,
that's you gotta.
brat.
But it takes.
That was the gulliest,
That was the gulliest White House correspondence dinner, without a doubt.
without a doubt. You had to get a ginge up there. Brat.
That was
Curly-haired ginge with a screechy voice.
it was incredible.
Brat.
That stuff like that takes bravery, and it's great. Even the people that are being super mean to her, I'm like, this is great. She's gonna
No,
do
this
great.
is perfect for
This
her.
is perfect for
That's
her.
what you want as a comic. Guys, be meaner to us. Just not on the reviews. On the
Not on
reviews,
the-
you do it on Twitter.
So okay, so Rocco Camiso, he did mention.
I also just want to say my laptop right now is at 69%. Nice.
Okay, yeah, and my
It's part of what we were doing on Twitter.
I
Don't
saw.
you dare disrespect it.
but it's just like why the interruption?
I don't know. It
I'm
made sense to
trying-
me.
I'm trying to talk.
Our new listeners are like, is it always like this? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So Rocco Miso, the other thing he mentioned that I thought was interesting. There were a bunch of quotes in the Guardian article about it, and he did make a point to say that the United States has been a member of FIFA longer than Uruguay and Brazil, and look at where we are when it comes to standings in the world.
I mean, Rocco Camiso listens to this podcast because I've brought this up multiple times. 3.5 million people for Uruguay, 8.5 million just in New York alone.
Yeah.
And look at where they are in the world ranking. And we ain't even in the World Cup.
It's wild because he's an older guy. I think he's 61 years old, and he's talking about like his.
You know he talks like Joe Beningo, too, because he's a New Yorker. And his name's Rocco Camiso.
We gotta get Rocco on the show.
Rocco
man. That'd be
Camiso
great.
sounds like the guy who's there to pick up the money. And he's like, this is your last chance. Look, I don't want to hurt you. But, I mean, they sent a guy named Rocco Camiso to come get you. You know, this isn't going to be good.
It's out of my hands at this point.
After me comes a guy named Lil Vinny. And, you know, it's never a good thing when they have a young or a Lil in front. And it's an Italian guy. It's not a fun day.
So yeah, I think it came across based on the Guardian article. It just really came across as like a real like importance to him, like where he's like, I want to affect some change on how soccer is run in this country, and he sort of makes that point of like that the people that are running it or the people that started Major League Soccer were not people that knew the game and understood it.
That's not a secret. They weren't soccer people. To some degree, they still aren't. I know Don Garber's much more involved in the world of soccer now. But when he started, he was an NFL guy.
Yeah, and that's understood. But like, I think it's getting to the point where it's like, all right, now we have to have that turnover of like the more progressive thinkers.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we need to change anyone. I just think the people in charge need to sort of adapt a bit. There's nothing they can do to steer this boat not the way it's going. And it's going towards promotion and relegation.
Yes, but I think they're going to be forced to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not going to be voluntary.
My point isn't that we need to get rid of the people in charge now in order to have that happen. It would happen faster. I think that all the signs inevitably point to this happening. All the money is pointing to that. The amount of fans we have, the amount of the lower division teams like in FC Cincinnati. If FC Cincinnati doesn't make it, someone even like Sacramento Republic, which I know their ownership is completely fallen apart, but if they stay getting 18, 20,000 fans, why aren't they in the top flight?
Yeah.
I could point to a lot of teams, including NYCFC, a lot of games that aren't getting that.
Sure.
A lot of them. Yeah. So, we can't sit here and talk about like, their market doesn't deserve. What are you talking about? Their market supports their team. I was in Ireland. I saw a guy wearing a Sac Republic shirt. Yeah. I was like, good luck getting into MLS. He was like, what? He was like, you want to talk?
That was,
you know what I mean?
That was a Potato Sack Republic, bro. That's a different team. It's a different
God damn. Yeah, I know they really suffered during the famine.
They got relegated quite a bit.
The team was very diseased.
They got relegated to the grave.
Oh boy! Wow. All right. Normally it's me going far enough. Welcome aboard, Christian Blanco.
We're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, everybody's
having fun. So speaking of U.S. soccer, the World Cup bid that Carlos Cordero is trying to get, for the United States, it seems to be the U.S. The joint bid from U.S., Canada, and Mexico against the powerful nation of Morocco. But it's looking like more and more like we're not gonna get the World Cup because
we seem to be stepping on our own tail quite a bit here.
Well, the man who was the focus of a lot of Michelle Wolf's jokes at the White House Correspondents' Dinner went off, right? He went off on Twitter. The president, your boy, President Donald Trump.
Talking about soccer for the first time in his life.
And I hope the last. He needs
Please.
Just no. There had to be some point where, look, when Donald Trump became president, I'm like, it's gonna happen. At some point, he's gonna talk about soccer. He's talked about everything else. He's insulted. He's offended. He's rude to everybody, minorities, women, anyone who dislike. He gives a nickname.
Everyone gets it.
Everyone gets it. And at some point, he was gonna come at soccer. And it's looking like, so the tweet that he put out was the U.S. has put, I didn't want to bother.
No, go
the
for
U.S.
it. Go
has
for
put
impression.
together a strong bid with Canada and Mexico. I hate this man.
Impression.
I hate this man. For the 2026 World Cup, it would be a shame if countries that we always support were to lobby against the U.S. bid. Why should we be supporting these countries when they don't support us? Including at the United Nations.
Which, first of all, I mean, way to go all the way. Even at the United Nations? My guy, we want the World Cup, but chill. It's a soccer tournament.
Okay? I don't want the World Cup to be the proxy war of like an actual war.
We'll send the nuclear missiles. We need to host Fiji versus Italy, or else everybody gets it. Everybody chill.
So look,
but also, did you know that the government can't be involved in the bid?
So this is the issue.
Because we all just found that out now.
So this is the problem. That for the most part, when Donald Trump tweets, we're just like, all right, the old man's cranky again.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
He charged his phone. Here we go.
Okay, he'll be done.
We're also saying that when Kanye tweets now. Oh, God, here we go.
He'll be done in a moment. But because of this tweet, and he's literally directing it at kind of like specific nations.
Yeah.
He's saying that he's trying to influence the election for who gets the World Cup. And according to FIFA's rules, is that a government cannot try to influence the countries of their vote. So
now, let me say this though: if this counts against us,
which it should,
Qatar still gets a World Cup after we know for sure they were just handing out envelopes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is.
And do they have the money? They bought Neymar. A country paid Neymar's release clause. Come on, son. They got money.
Yeah, yeah. It's
you know, they turn that compacted fuel into liquid. That's their thing.
They turned fuel.
There's a certain fuel that no one could use.
Okay.
And they have a lot of it. So they invested all their money as a country in finding a way to turn it into a liquid so that they could sell it. And they did it successfully. That's where now Qatar has all this money.
Oh.
Like Doha is like it's like the new Dubai.
Okay.
I was gonna say Budai, which is not anything. That's not a thing. I was just gonna say that, and I was like, that didn't sound right.
Yo, that girl got a nice Budai.
Damn, that's that new Budai, huh? All right, Qatar.
Where'd you get that? In Dominican Republic?
All right, Qatar. All right, you go to Brazil. All right, a little surgery in Brazil. Well, anyway, they liquidated this fuel, so now they got all this money, and they've been giving it to Jack Wagner and all these other dudes to get this, World Cup. It clearly happened.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no real leg to stand on when it comes to like ethics.
Right. And Putin, come on.
But FIFA,
is there anyone more corrupt than Putin?
We already know that FIFA they haven't really let go of what was it, Loretta Lynch? Remember Loretta Lynch and the investigation into FIFA?
But here's the thing, we got your papers, dog. You got to give us that World Cup because we're going to release all that information. All right, my guy?
A little blackmail.
Yeah. All right. I mean, if we got to go there, I mean, don't you give them exactly what to charge me with now? But yeah. You just snitched on both of us?
Nice.
By the way, you can't see our screens. Christian wrote that and told me to say that. So he's really the one who wants to blackmail
Imagine
you.
we come up in like some investigative report.
I mean, you want to get our name out there.
The Cooligans involved.
Loretta
in
Lynch getting arrested. Arrest us. By the way, I live not far from those Brooklyn courts. I mean, I could walk there. Maybe get a little media to see me walking around. Maybe I'll get a slice on the way up.
So this can turn out to be a big problem, and in regards to getting that World Cup bid, a lot of people want it. A lot of people think it's going to help American soccer quite a bit if we do get it. But honestly, this is so frustrating, and just on top of all the other things all the other reasons people have to hate Donald Trump. Yeah, this is one of those things where I'm like, you know what, I understand if we don't deserve it.
No,
based on this man's behavior.
Let me say this: if we get it, 4 more years, 4 more years. It's a witch hunt.
It's all these fake news.
Yeah.
And
Michelle Wolf is very disrespectful. We should have
get
rid of her. Let's bring Dennis Miller to do all the. Did you see his tweet? He's like, she's very disrespectful. You guys come back to Twitter on Wednesday, and I'll have some jokes for her.
What?
Damn, bro.
He was waiting till the Cooligans podcast came out.
Yeah, he wants to hear first. What are the Cooligans going to say about him? So he's going to be on. He's like, they're going to be on 10 Wins on Tuesday. Then I check that out.
He's paying attention to that stuff. Look, I don't know.
Please stop interfering with the one thing we love in this world, which is soccer. Besides our ladies, by the way, and pizza. Could you just...
In what order? Who knows?
I'll never admit that one out loud. My lady holding pizza? Now we're talking. But come on. Stop interfering with the goddamn World Cup bid. Let us try. I mean, we're doing it with Mexico and Canada.
Can we lose it on our own? That's all I'm saying.
Imagine it's just Canada and Mexico. We're just watching the teams fly over us.
Now we're the flyover country.
Yeah. We're not. No, we're not.
All right. So look, let's go to our next segment because we are just an exciting time, and we were really happy to have these two amazing guests on the show, Susannah Collins and Jillian Sakovits. You may know Susannah Collins from MLSsoccer.com. You see her a lot of content.
This Week in MLS, which is her big show.
That's right. She does. She also with Jillian Sakovits, they do Beat the Pro. They do a lot of cool videos on MLSsoccer.com, and you probably see her after post-game interviews. Sometimes she does that.
Yeah.
after games.
She's around. Great energy.
And Jillian Sakovits is now working for Fox Sports for Atlanta, and she covers Atlanta United. And if you see any of the local, the regional sports there,
she's with Dan Gargan and Brian Egan
and Kevin Egan.
You're
thinking of Brian Regan.
Brian Regan,
which I don't know how.
I imagine Jillian Sakovits like, what'd you think about that? The big yellow one in the middle's the sun.
Which would be, Brian Regan doing soccer commentary would be super entertaining.
Oh my God! Can he buy a team like Will Ferrell owns a team? I would love if he owned FC Cincinnati.
Sure. You also said Will Ferrell like Will Ferrell, which.
All right, here we go. I mean, are we going to get into everything I say? Because we'll be here all day. We already threw it to another segment. We still haven't gone.
By
the way, he's from Miami. Maybe him and Beckham. Brian Regan co-owns Miami.
Let's get to the next segment. Okay, yeah. So Susannah Collins and Jillian Sakovits, and we had a great, little brunch.
Yeah,
together.
we did a little brunch.
It was so fun. They're best friends. We're best friends.
All of us are now best friends. It was a date, and it was me and Christian on a date, and Jillian and Susannah.
Yeah,
by the way.
and we I made out with Alexis.
Yeah.
So it was a good one.
But my breath smelled like Serrano ham. Listen up.
So we'll be right back after this.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. We just want to break in with a little sponsor.
Yeah, sponsoring the show again, Away Days Football.
Yeah, baby.
And shout out to a bunch of our fans already picked up some stuff from Away Days Football.
Yeah, they tweeted at us. I think I saw some Nottingham Forest kits. I saw some Belgium jackets.
Yeah, that's hot stuff.
Let me tell you something. This company is perfectly suited for me, all right? I love finding. And by the way, we got a couple FC Whacker guys. Who hit us up, and one of the dudes asked if we should start a FC Whacker supporters group, but I called it Wanker by mistake, so he was like, yo, we should be like the Wanker supporters group. Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. It's Scudboat at Joey DFB. Thank you so much. But anyway, speaking of Away Days, there's this thing called the mystery kit. It's not the only thing they sell, okay? They sell some dope hoodies, jackets, shirts, hats, the whole nine. But this mystery kit, they also have a mystery pack, which is pretty dope. But the mystery kit itself, it's $25, and they send you a random kit, and it's typically a lower division team, or maybe it's like a 2 or 3 year old kit. It's brand new, but it's like a kit that hasn't been used in 2 years. Yeah. It's absolutely dope. You get a random kit, and it's never the big team, so it's definitely not going to be a rival of yours, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to receive it and be like, I hate this.
Yeah, if you do, you watch too much soccer. Let's be honest. But it's dope, dude. They get like Swedish teams, and we saw, again, Nottingham Forest. It's really cool. It's $25. Here's my plan. I know they don't have an option. I'm going to try to convince them to do this. Set up a yearly subscription, okay?
Yeah, they currently have a 3-month.
3-month subscription is the biggest one they have. Son, do the whole year, because I will send you $25 every month. You take it right out of my credit card, my guy, and you send me a random kit in a XXL. Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah, and they have all the sizes that you could want. They also have a mystery pack, which brings a
scarf,
a
jersey, and a jacket or something.
But it's random stuff, so you don't know exactly what it's going to be. And that's like we were mentioning it last week. You know, it's like you want to live on the edge a little bit. You want to live. You're a gambling man. You want to go a little crazy. You don't know. You know, it's like Christmas every week. You know, every month. You could just have a nice new gift. And there's a bit of added excitement to just like
you never know what it is. Imagine when it comes in the mail. It's like when you were a kid and you got something in the mail. You're like, it's for me.
It's for me. You know? Is Santa using the post office?
This is a bit weird. Ever since Daddy left. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the website. Go to www.awaydaysfootball.com. And what you do is go in, put all these dope things in your shopping cart, and then when you hit the logout, you're going to write in the word Cooligans under promo, and they're going to give you 15% off everything on the website. Yeah. Anything you want, not just the mystery pack. I think the mystery pack is the dopest thing they got, but I also love that hoodie and that track jacket they got is dope. Yeah. Go check it out. The 5-panel hats are dope. Go check it out. If you use the word Cooligans, you're going to get 15% off. So that mystery pack is like $20. $21. I mean, you've bought sandwiches more than that, right? We talked about this. We're going to go get Christian a more expensive sandwich than $21 because this guy's not living at all.
I'm not having the luxury sandwiches I should be having, apparently.
No, my guy's not even adding mayo to his things because his sandwiches are powdered drinks.
So make sure you go to awaydaysfootball.com and use the promo code Cooligans and you get 15% off.
Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are back.
Look at all of this.
Look at all of this. And I know I know it's just a like the people listening on the podcast.
They're like, look at what?
What are you talking about?
They're staring at their windshields like, I don't see nothing.
That's not how podcasts work.
Yeah.
But no, you're listening to this on a Wednesday. But we're doing this as this is a Sunday brunch episode, a very special episode that we've been trying to put together for quite a while. But schedules, schedules are challenging.
Yeah. And I also want everyone to know, this has been a dream of mine from when we started this podcast.
Being in front of this food plate?
I was going to say, I can think of no better guest than cured meat, everyone.
Cured meat and cheeses.
We've got Serrano ham in front of me. I got
told
some
you guys
blue
when
cheese.
I walked in, this is the nicest date I've ever been on.
I know. I know.
Not
Susannah
bad.
never brings out the meat.
Well,
Just the booze.
This is a double date, but Alexis and I are on a date.
yeah.
We know. Dates.
And this is
Bestie
me
double.
dressed up, by the way. I'm wearing a hoodie, if you're wondering. But the funny thing is, when we thought of having you guys on, and we've been trying to schedule this for a while, we thought, we watch your Instagram stories, and when the two of you go out, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like these two best friends who like played hooky in high school. The two of you are like giggling 24/7. You're doing all fun stuff, so we had to do it up big. We're doing a little brunch setting.
So this is exciting.
Perfect.
So and please, everyone, welcome to the show. The princesses of MLS. Do we want to say that?
Yes, you can call us that.
That's fine.
That's perfect.
Susannah Collins, hello, and Jillian Sakovits.
Hey, guys.
I'm already eating, but.
I gotta get into this.
Yeah,
Serrano
we got a
action.
beautiful brie. We got some blue cheese, so everyone knows we got some grana padano crisps. We got some little crackers, baby.
It's very good.
And we got
tried it.
mountain aged Parmesan cheese. We got real Parmigiano Reggiano, baby.
My goodness.
This is gonna be people in their headphones. They just hear us chewing, just thin meats.
And also because, by the way, how beautifully this slice it. It's almost translucent. Thank you very much. I have a guy at Murray's Cheese just for the meat. And by the way, we are at the Hackensack Meridian Health Stage 17, and because we are, this in our cups is just soda. Right, guys?
Yeah.
It is just soda.
Salute to you guys.
Salute.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you so much
Cheers
for being
to
here.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brunch. We
So-
brunchin'.
So you ladies have done some incredible content
You
for
have
MLS.
some cheese in your beard.
Oh, well, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a whole piece of meat under my
I'll keep an eye
hat.
on it for you.
Tell
Thank
each
you.
other when you
Yeah.
have cheese in your beard.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's rude of you to
come
say on this date, Christian. How does it feel, sort of, having this sort of odd fan base of soccer fans, even though you two are obviously well versed in soccer and know a ton of it, but you two are sort of like the funnest part of MLS content.
We are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the nicest
I would
thing
say that about
ever.
you guys way before
I
us.
know.
But
Well,
thank
I mean,
you.
we're not employed by.
We're not
Major
employed
League
by
Soccer.
MLS. We ain't getting them paychecks.
But if we were,
Yeah.
then
We
yes,
don't get
we would.
paid in Garber bucks. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm happy it looks as fun as it is because honestly, we have a
know.
blast that sometimes we're like, Wait a second.
This is our job.
I know. Are we going to get in trouble if we have this much fun? But no one has. At least no one shows they're having as much fun as you guys are, even though they're all having a great time. Where does that come from? Is that just who the two of you naturally are? Or is it a conscious decision to be like, yo, we're going to switch this
I
up?
have it, like, since I started working in sports, like, my mentality has always been sports is fun, you
Yeah.
know? Like, sports is entertainment. It is meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyed. And not for a second do I take for granted the position that I'm in. You know, I literally get to watch soccer for a living, and they pay me actual dollars to do it.
Yeah.
And that is fun, and it makes me smile. And so, like, it just comes from a place of feeling very fortunate and loving sports so much. Being a sports fan, I think it's important to keep the fun at the focus.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we can take it a little too seriously.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Look at our dimensions on Twitter.
Yeah.
At us.
Everybody's mad at us.
At me, baby.
People are, NYCFC fans are mad at us that we don't take it too seriously. Other teams are mad at us when we talk about other teams. Whatever. Everyone be mad. We're just trying to make people laugh.
Let's go one at a time, right? Because, Susannah, you are the host of This Week in MLS, but you do, I mean, they have you do everything over at
Yeah.
Major League Soccer. Like,
Our goal is to be the twin moment of the week.
maybe this will be the
well,
twin
now
moment.
that you know,
Happen.
Are we bribing our way onto the show?
I might know some people.
Have some more cheese.
Yeah. Build that sodium up. We need to build everyone's yeah. More cola.
More soda.
Yeah.
So, Susannah, how long have you been with MLS, and how'd that get started?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I started, it was June of 2016, I started full-time. I was freelancing with them for a few months before that, but it was right when Copa America started.
Okay.
And I started because so I'm a Liverpool fan, Liverpool
Okay.
FC.
Everton supporter.
Okay.
Interview
well,
over.
We're gonna sit and thought we were friends, and not so much.
You've ruined this date.
It's over. Yeah, so I would tweet about Liverpool when they were playing, and the guy who was the head of video at MLS followed me on Twitter and literally slid into the DMs. I mean, that's how it happened. And he was like, "Hey, I see you tweet about Liverpool a lot. Are you a soccer fan? Would you ever be interested in working
It's very
for
millennial
MLS?"
of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
And I was like,
You got hired by
Right?
it goes down in the DMs?
no, totally. And then, so I was like, is this for real? So then I
Yeah.
you Google it and see his LinkedIn profile. I'm like, all right, dude's legit. So then I responded. I said, yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of how it
Did you
started
show
with
up to your
MLS.
interview and it looked like this?
Not
It's like,
even
welcome.
close.
Yeah, that's
Not
beautiful.
even close. I mean, I would have taken the job on the spot had that been the case.
And Jillian, you came from a more specific sports background, because I've seen you in do either sideline reporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like a reporter in Long Island, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
local here. I started here as an intern for News 12, which is in this tri-state area, and covered the Knicks, the Rangers, Yankees, and then also like Irvington High School or White Plains High School. So
Yeah.
all this stuff, and
Super exciting.
NYCFC started up. It is very exciting. No, but really though, like to Susannah's point about sports being fun, when I first heard about like where my internship would be, and this is going back like 8 years ago, I was like, I thought Knicks and Rangers. But honestly, I grew up playing soccer. I played soccer my whole life. Basketball, it wasn't very good, but you go to these games and it reminds you why you love to watch sports. That like sometimes I would have more fun at a high school game or a college game than say like a pro game, because if everyone's having a blast, which doesn't always happen at a
Absolutely
professional
true.
game,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
brings you back to why you love the sport. So yes, I was on like the local circuit here, having a great time. NYCFC came, Tommy Mack from Nyack, so we started dabbling in some NYCFC stuff, and it kind of rekindled my love for soccer, because once I got into broadcasting, I did not ever think, sports broadcasting, that I would get back into soccer.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
okay. You'd maybe mention MLS and they'd be like, oh, is that like the Red Bulls, or is that
Yeah.
NYC team's coming? And this is going back like 4 years ago. And just how far it's come from then to now. So then when opportunities arose at MLS, maybe just 6 months before Susannah got there, I was all about it, and it just spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two
Literally.
of you forged a bond that we all watch. It's like even the dumbest things you guys make sound awesome. Like the two of you like in a supermarket. And I'm like, man, I was
that'd be-
following behind. You know?
Oh, God.
Well, you've done a couple of the series. I forgot what was it. The title of the series.
Beat the Pro.
Beat the Pro. Right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
crossbar challenge.
And, and you get to compete against each other with either fans or another professional player.
First of all, so that series started and they brought me on like maybe like halfway through, and Jill was like, Susannah,
We have to have a meeting.
and she had this like look in her eye, like, and I was like, is this a good meeting? She was like, oh yeah. And then we're like, what? We get to do the show together, which means
Yeah.
we get to go on the road together, and we get to do this amazing shoots with
We
these
got to
like
do
great
5 of
players.
them.
I mean,
Oh.
it was like a dream come true.
Didn't the fans almost always win on that? Wasn't that like
fans won twice?
twice?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was AJ De La Garza was on one of them. and
AJ
he's
lost.
Like, he's like, yeah, I'm a
And Ike
defender.
lost.
Yes.
It was,
It was
AJ
our
and Ike.
defenders.
It's the defenders. They're like,
yeah.
we're
Yeah.
not supposed to do this.
Targets. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
AJ and Ike lost.
Is there any particular one? I saw the one with Dax McCarty. I remember that one. Is there anyone that stands out as one of your faves that people should go and watch?
I mean, the Felipe one was
Felipe.
Yeah.
amazing because he was so intense.
He
He
was
was like
for
the
sure.
guy was like
Serious.
out for blood.
Yeah, he was trying to draw red cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Right.
He wrote on one of the fans' jerseys, he wrote, like, best day of your life, you lose, I win. And then
Wow.
he's just like this.
Felipe was Zlatan before Zlatan got here.
Yeah. He's Brazilian Zlatan.
Mini
Yeah,
Zlatan.
mini Zlatan. He also took you on a jet ski
Did
in the Hudson River, right?
Hudson
Which is
River.
like,
Yeah,
That's that radiation coming off.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? Is it emanating? Yeah, that was awesome. That's probably one of my favorite shoots I've ever done.
And he was not gentle on that. When
No, he wasn't.
We got up to like 70 miles an hour on that thing.
That
and
is
I
hilarious.
I had this one moment where I was like, if I fell off and hit this water, like that's like instant death. And I was like, what a way to go.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd make for a great episode.
Open casket. They're like, I don't remember her having 3 eyes.
But
What happened?
if that did happen, and we know how New York newspapers are, where do you think in the newspaper would your death end up? In the
God.
Whole thing.
Whole thing. Last page.
I wouldn't let that happen.
MLS reporter, they're
No
like,
way.
huh?
What a cut! That would be some
in the
controversy.
sports, it would be in the sports.
In the sports.
It would be a little.
All right, well that's not too
section.
bad.
You also got to take Schweinsteiger shopping,
Sure
which
did.
we talked about a little bit at All Star. I mean, how many people can say they've taken Bastian Schweinsteiger shopping?
It was surreal. It was such a surreal day. It was just bananas. Like we met him at Toyota Park, and he drove in his Mercedes. Of course. Hello.
Which for him is a regular car because he's German. That's
Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, I don't drive
that.
foreigns.
Yeah. That was the only option. So we drove into the city, had like a lovely chat the whole time. He's so polite. He's so German. He's just like the quintessential German gent.
But you got him smiling and stuff,
it
which
was
we never see on the
fun.
field.
He's a really like friendly kind of goofy guy. And then when we were shopping, like he was like had really strong opinions on the clothes and like what he liked and didn't like.
man.
Dude doesn't wear jeans. Just want everybody to, like
Okay.
you will
Well,
never
yeah.
see Bastian Schweinsteiger in
Denim is too constricting for
I didn't
those
even know
calves.
people took a stance on
I know, but he does.
I'm also thinking, what else do you wear? Just trousers? You wear slacks?
I mean, his style game is on point.
He looks good. Yeah, he's a well-dressed man.
But he was
Silver fox,
He was
if you
so
will.
lovely. He was just a really, really nice guy. We had so much fun. I was really surprised, like how normal he was.
It was
And
a
the
good
dude's
one.
won World Cup. Like he won like everything. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
He's also one of those guys like, yes, I won a World Cup. So I don't wear jeans. Don't say it that way.
You don't have to bring it up every time.
Yeah. They asked you if you
We
wanted fries
know.
with that.
We know.
I know. Enough.
Jillian, now, just recently, you just started working with Atlanta United, right?
did.
You are the sideline reporter for Fox Sports Southeast.
It's Fox Sports South, and then
South.
sometimes also on Fox Sports Southeast.
Okay.
Not
Now-
confusing at all.
No. And we always remember exactly which one it is before we
What do you guys just shift over a few feet? All right, now we're in the Southeast, baby.
Now this is exciting. I know it's exciting for you. I know
Yeah.
in Major League Soccer, Atlanta United was just such a huge shock and surprise, and the support has been wild. Now you're from here, and we knew you when you were
Yes.
here. But then, and now you're working with Kevin Egan, right? And Dan Gargan.
They're the best. Except for
Yeah. Second best ain't so bad. Dan?
second best.
So what's it been like being in front of those Atlanta United supporters? Like, I know they give us a lot of love. I know they must do the same for you.
They are fantastic. When it was first announced, I really didn't know what to expect, and good, bad, and you're like, we'll see. They were so nice. They're so welcoming, and they're so positive. Like, someone would go online and tweet something and be like, oh, Jill did this one piece that I really enjoyed, and they uncovered something that like 1,000 people saw like 2 years ago in soccer. Like, they're so invested in the league. They're invested in the team, and they're all about positivity, which, as we know,
Not always the case.
Yeah.
it's not.
It's almost
and-
too much of it in soccer
and
and the fan base.
nor should it be, but when you're about to enter a stadium with 70,000 people, if they're all smiling and writing really nice things to you, it's not such a bad feeling.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
But they
I
have
can
high
imagine the opposite.
They have high expectations now
they
because
should.
of what this team did and what this team expects from itself, and they hold us to the same standard. So I'm gonna try to not make you guys mad at me
Easy, guys.
because they're the best.
Are you surprised? You were talking a little bit about when you started, you didn't expect soccer would be an option for you, and now you're happy you're back. We got a chance to go see what's going on in Atlanta in the new stadium. Just staring at the wall, that wall they have of just
It never
the
ends.
supporter section. And just, there's a moment where you're sitting there and you're like, I remember walking through it with a camera, and I don't think we ever released the footage, but there's part of it where I'm like, I had to remind myself I'm in America. I had to remind myself, like, this is actually happening, and we're in the South. I never thought the South enjoyed anything that I would have liked.
It's
you know?
crazy. I was just watching some Champions League with a friend of mine who's from England, and he was asking me specifically about the Atlanta experience, and he was like, "Is it as loud?" He's like, "It looks like a European soccer game." And I was like, "No, it is. Like legitimately. Like that place is so bananas loud." And he asked me specifically. He was like, why are they doing so well, like attendance wise? And I'm like, I think even they're surprised. I think even they like are kind of blown away by the amount of people that actually show up.
It's an underrated sports town, I think. I think sometimes, Miami,
But that's their fault,
the
though.
South.
That's their fault because they haven't shown up for anybody.
Right, exactly.
You say,
I don't know where this came from.
This is what I mean. I was like, I don't know.
They're into it. They're super into it. And perfect example. Here's two things I had to do when I got to Atlanta. I had to go buy a $150 IFB because the thing that goes in your ear, it's usually like $1 and you plug it in. I couldn't hear a thing. So I had to call Katie with them at Fox, and she told me there's these noise canceling ones, and I Amazoned them, and I'm like, I would pay $1,000 for these at this point.
She'll tell me about these things. She's like, Susanna, they changed my
I invited
life.
her over. We were drinking wine, and I was like, Suze, buy these
like,
if you go to Atlanta.
You put it in, and you're like, ah! And she's like,
so that's an indication in itself because we've done live stuff at Seattle. I've done live stuff at Vancouver during the playoffs, Toronto. I needed to go out and buy new equipment. And then the second thing is we have the A, B, C, and D block, the last segment that we do in our pregame show, which is a half hour. Dan Gargan and I cannot hear each other in the last thing. We're literally like this. We're like, and I'm like on the side, just screaming in his ear because he can't hear me.
You know when they do like the RNC and the DNC and they have those special microphones that are attached to their cheeks?
Yeah.
And they don't move because if you move slightly, you don't hear it because it only picks up one thing. It's so loud. That's you guys. You're like, thank you, Dan Gargan. Yeah,
Robots on TV.
You'll see.
Well, it is interesting just because like we were talking last week about just that shock and surprise like over either not only new markets but just like even plays themselves after this Zlatan goal that broke the internet. Well, like what I love last week the Chicago Fire were playing at Red Bull Arena and I was Alexander Katai scored that crazy goal.
Worldy.
But I love
Banger.
even the announcers were like, "What was that?
Who
like,
was that?
Who was that?"
How did he do that?
I think every year there's that thing in MLS. Maybe you are more aware of it, but where like people are delightfully being surprised with like, oh my, the league is growing so much that we're just like, oh, whoa, what was it? Like we're seeing it right in front of our eyes.
The quality on the pitch has improved so much. I mean, honestly, like even since the time I started, like I'm like, there is a lot of talented players that are
very
playing
much
in
so.
this league. And so there are moments like that, like the Katai goal, and you're like, that's a world-class goal.
Yeah.
That's
like,
a top 10 for Sports Center every time. It should be, yeah.
100%, and that is happening more and more in MLS. And that's, I mean, people are like starting to be like, oh, hey, I see you, MLS.
Even what happened recently with Toronto, unfortunately losing, but taking Chivas to the brink.
right.
That I was actually talking.
They won in Mexico.
They won in Mexico.
They won in Mexico.
They lost on aggregate after the penalties, but they won that game. And I was talking to someone today who's a massive Chivas fan from Guadalajara, and he was like, whoa. And he was like, yo, eso gringo. Like, yo, it's like, those white kids, they know how to play now. And he was saying it like, he's wearing an LAFC hat, by the way. This is a Mexican League fan. And he's like, Carlos Vela.
Carlos Vela.
He doesn't know LAFC as much. He just knows Carlos Vela plays for him and he loves Vela. But
Also,
he was
the
like,
hat's really cool.
The hat's dope. Yeah. And
not
it's just
bad.
the LA. And I'm like, you from LA? He's like, no, man. And I was like, yo, it's dope. But he was like, yo, he's like, these white people are coming, you know? Which is what everyone in Brooklyn said 10 years ago. And they were right. But there's this sort of feeling, there's like this, it's hard to sort of explain. When we started following MLS as religiously as we do now, it's probably right around the time NYCFC started. We're both NYCFC season ticket holders. But now there's like, it was sort of warm. And people are starting to ask questions about it. But I still had to like, oh, you go to New York games? Yeah, when is David Beckham playing the Red Bulls? And you're like, one, he's a member of a team, and not anymore. And two, they don't do that, and we a different team.
That is really what people said.
Yeah, but now there's like this, like now it's foaming, like it's starting to bubble over.
Yeah, I do enjoy that there's more passion. Like, so we were off air. We were talking about at the NYCFC training that you got to go to the new training center,
Super
which was
jelly.
cool.
Oh my God.
Now we sound like we're at brunch. We're like, girl, that was amazing.
Cheers to
Did
that.
you? I am so jelly.
But this is what was fascinating. There were a lot of the media that participated in a training session, and this was weird to me. But like, I get it. Tina Servasio, who works for Fox,
the old Red
local,
Bull,
and she covers mainly Red Bull. I would
apparently
say.
not anymore.
Not anymore, but she was the Red Bull reporter.
Because she's full-time now at Fox.
Okay, so she's the sports
So she has
reporter.
to be
Neutral.
She's even Steven to
Yes,
all New York
absolutely.
sports, which is different for her, I can imagine. Going
Exactly.
from Knicks to continuing Red Bulls.
Yes, and what was fascinating and also like disappointing a little bit was just like some Red Bull fans being like
Red Bull Twitter.
Red Bull Twitter was like, Tina's dead to me. How could you do this to us?
Tina has to work, people.
Girls gotta make a living. Come
Can I
on
just tell you what
now.
happened to us? We're not going to name names, but there's one specific fan of NYCFC. We did an event in Atlanta, sold out. It was awesome. We actually opened a comedy festival with a live podcast. We had on Julian Gressel,
Bobby Boswell.
Robbie Boswell,
Oh
Brittany
my
Hunter.
God,
Yeah, it was
Bobby
like awesome. It
Boswell.
was really
I
cool.
love Julian Gressel.
I love both.
It was
of those
awesome.
dudes.
Somebody gave them scarves, and they put one on each of us. So there's photos of us wearing Atlanta United scarves. They're not even like footy mom. They're like just straight up Atlanta. And people are like, how could you do this to us? You're supposed to be NYCFC fans. And we're like, we're entertainers. If I play a Boston Red Sox fan in a movie, you think my Yankee fan friends are going to be like, you could never come back to this deli. People got to relax.
Get a grip, you know? Come on.
Do you guys get that ever? I mean,
A little bit, yeah. I mean, like, especially the thing is,
You're so
I
open about
work
being from
for-
Chicago,
Yes,
too.
exactly, and I'm a legit Chicago homer, like, admittedly, like, and I totally own that. That's fine. But you know, as a league, like, I work for the league. I represent the league, and so I do stuff with every single team in the league, and I will always, like, inevitably, if I post something, like when I posted, I wore the cool LAFC hat.
Yeah.
Galaxy fans are like, but you like us better, right? Right? but
Just
you-
tell us.
But the Galaxy is your team, right? It's like, yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly right. It's just, you know, you give them a little like pat on
Yeah,
the head,
yeah.
like,
I get it.
okay, whatever you need, honey. Yeah.
But if you don't
You're
show
gonna get a
some
lot more now.
allegiance, I mean, yes.
Now you're like, you're dying the wool Atlanta
Yeah.
right now. You got no choice.
Yeah,
you
Jill's
will
in a
not
different-
see
Jill's
me
in a
this
different
year put
position.
on any other hat or jersey.
Not at all.
Unless it's for charity.
Like when Nashville comes out, or if Orlando sent you 1,000 pairs of their jersey or 1,000 jerseys, you'd have to like never admit you have them.
No,
You wouldn't acknowledge
I
that.
would have to go to a school where children wanted 1,000 jerseys, and I would have to hold something at that school.
Or you'd have to get a second one of those earpieces so you could not hear the booing of coming
No,
out.
I would never ever do that. But to Susannah's point, like when I wasn't just with Atlanta, because right now I'm half still working for MLS and
you
half
have
the
Atlanta.
time in Atlanta, and you know, you want to show your fandom because that means that you're genuine and
Right.
you enjoy this and that. And you know, I'll walk in and I'll have loved something that CJ Sapong did, right? But then the next day I'll be all about the Timbers, and the people will freak out.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, but I can appreciate
I know.
CJ's fantastic performance, and then I can also just kind of like the Timbers too, because the year I started, they went on to win cups, so they hold like a place in my heart. Because had they not
sure.
won cup, I probably wouldn't have a job.
That's
Yeah, so
fascinating.
thank you.
But I mean, even us, we were openly rooting for Toronto FC.
Of course.
And we were hoping
Honestly, I think
the
all
Red Bulls
of
did well in
MLS
Champions
should
League.
have
We're
been
not
cheering
Rebels
for
fans.
Toronto last night, for
It's
sure.
for the league. I don't understand how people don't see this. Like,
Yeah.
it's beneficial for the league for us to do well.
I think some fans know that, okay, sure, maybe a different fan base is a little jealous of what's going on in, per
Right.
se, Atlanta. But I think a true fan understands that, hey, if that's happening in Atlanta, that's going to spread. And that's going to happen more somewhere
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
people understand that is, some people
Some-
understand that it's
Yeah.
good for the league when, like, a team is doing really well
Yep.
or a fan base is doing really
Yeah.
well. But
it's
then
the
just
ones who
step your
don't
game up.
understand it. The ones who don't understand it are super loud.
Very loud, and they like to get in the comments.
Yes.
and
And
they
they
seem to
like
have-
to get on the social media.
And they write it in all caps.
Tell you all about it.
And I'm pretty sure they all have
Caps
unlimited.
lock.
They got like unlimited data, all of them. They just do not stop posting.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't you gotta go to work, dog?
Do you got a job?
Jillian, I did want to also ask before we wrap up. You do another cool thing with your series where you.
You guys are making me sound like I do, like
No,
I'm a lot
you do
cooler
cool
than I
stuff.
am.
Invite us.
This is how uncool I am. I'm gonna tell you. When we got your email about brunch, what did I call you and say yesterday?
Oh God.
What's brunch clothes?
What's brunch clothes? Oh yeah. She's like, what are you wearing? And I was like, I don't know, probably like a t-shirt and jeans, whatever.
I knew she would look cool and good. So this is our friendship. So
How
I
great
call
would
I'm
it be
like,
if she told you
Susanna, what's
t-shirt
brunch
and
clothes?
jeans? She walks in an evening gown.
She would never. She's
Hair
a
and
good
makeup.
friend.
We were like,
That's a bad friend. This is a good friend.
Yeah.
It's true.
But
it's true.
you do
Meanwhile,
that.
I wore a hoodie. he looks like a Dominican salsa dancer. Yeah.
I will
a
dance with
beautiful
anyone
one.
in here.
What were you saying?
The series that you do, where you focus
Beyond the Stance.
Beyond the Stands, and you focus
Such
on
a great series, by the way.
like some of my just favorite ones were the one you did with the Timbers was great. The one you did
love that one.
with the Gorilla FC,
Yeah.
the charity work.
Houston was great too.
Battling homelessness, and we got to go into a homeless village in Seattle.
It's an awesome concept.
I've loved it. I've loved to go talk to. So last year we focused on the supporters, and like here we are. You know, we're not bashing the supporter groups, but we'll say we do get some kind of loud fans at times. But I said, let's go in and show all the good that they do, because when we would go and hang with a supporter group, they'd be like, "Oh, but we do a soup kitchen on a Wednesday," and you'd be like, "What?" I just thought you guys went on Twitter and were at the games. Like I was
Like in between throwing sodas
Totally.
at the other. It's really nice.
It was
of you.
all my fault. I was totally naive to like what the true scope of what all the good that these supporter groups did. So we said like, let's highlight it. So we did 8 supporter groups last year. Now this season, we just shot our first one with Matt Lamson in Minnesota. We're doing 8 foundations that players run themselves.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
very
So it's
cool.
taking a little shift this year. We'll make our way back to the supporters, but we had so many good ones last year. We decided to get players in the mix. What I loved about that is I'm a bit of a human interest storyteller. I like doing that kind of stuff, and to mix it with soccer was great and have a little bit of fun while we're at it. So
Awesome.
it's
Yeah, I
been
like
really
to,
good.
I like to see them fighting each other. So if you guys could work on a show about that.
This one's about peace.
What are you guys hoping to do moving forward? Because I think for the fans, it's you guys come up with such great ideas, but there's not like a general track you run. Like, do you guys get a chance to pitch ideas? What would be like the
All the
perfect
time.
show for the two of you to do if you could pitch anything?
Oh my God, Jim.
Unlimited budget.
This
Yeah.
is to work right now. Can we do
Greg,
a show
listen
together
up.
this year?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello. We've been waiting.
Yeah, they're magnetic together. I don't know why you wouldn't do this.
I mean, I like me and Jill and a bottle of wine and just like.
We do have a wine sponsor now.
Yeah, we do. I know. We should work on this. And just like, I think like breaking down, we could like break down games, but then like just let it go into like crazy tangents. And I don't know. I feel like people would watch that.
It's
Yeah.
like an
What is
Andy
that,
Cohen
Drunk
show.
History?
Yeah. Yes,
Andy
exactly.
Cohen, yes. Anything like Bravo, I would do.
completely. Like that would be ideal.
The Real Soccer Wives of the Real Housewives of MLS.
Yeah, breaking stuff down. We couldn't talk about people, but we would leave that out of the show.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be
Maybe
great to just
beep
have
out.
all blocked as you guys are talking.
Can you believe
Just-
that she did that?
Yeah.
Throwing shade at
Yeah.
Dom Dwyer or something.
Actually, it would be a great idea for the two of you guys to like interview the wags, the wives.
oh
and girlfriends.
yeah. I've
That's something.
actually I've
They're lovely.
pitched that before. No, but I'm hoping that we can do something and at least maybe end of this season, next season. But I do have a fascination with the wives and girlfriends.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
Yes.
we keep saying like the purpose of our show is to like illuminate all the fun stuff that
Yeah.
even the players do. Like it help add value to what they do
Yeah.
because for a
Well,
long time
and
they
you
weren't
guys
getting
do a
paid
great
so
job.
great.
So I just shot an episode of my show BTW with Walker Zimmerman out in LA, and he took us to his house in Santa Monica where he lives, and like I met his wife, and like I got to see how his little life, his like beautiful little life that he has.
That's pretty
and,
dope.
and it was really, really cool. And he was like showing me around. I got the grand tour, and I was like, this, I love the idea of like humanizing the players, right? Because we know them as athletes. I love when you get the opportunity to see what they're just like as people. And it like those are the moments I think that MLS should do more of.
And that's what makes
Absolutely.
MLS like so unique because, for example, I loved covering the Knicks and the Rangers and all this business, but there was very few players you could go profile that 8 different New York papers and a couple sports networks hadn't already done.
yeah.
Even a rookie.
Yeah, there's so
Whereas
many
in
good
MLS,
stories.
There's a lot of good stories, and maybe they've been told, but someone who maybe doesn't watch soccer yet or just in this area would know about the Red Bulls or out in LA just knows a little bit about the Galaxy or LAFC. You have an opportunity to tell someone a story, and that gets people interested in the league. A perfect
100%,
example
of
would be
course.
like, we were watching 60 Minutes the other day, and I was with my dad, and they had Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks on.
Yeah, Greek freak.
He would never watch a Milwaukee NBA game.
Yeah, yeah.
But he watched the 20 minutes on him, and he was like, now during the playoffs, he's watching all this Giannis
He's
stuff.
more interested in it. Yeah,
So, and it's the same thing in MLS. There's a lot of stories to tell, and I think that's what makes our job so special. That then when we're chatting with someone, they're like, "Oh, who's that player?
Right.
Oh, he's from Germany. Oh, my grandparents are German. I want to watch that. I want to learn about that guy, like Gressel or whoever." So that's what's awesome about MLS.
And Alexis, to your point, like they're super open to ideas. So that's one of the reasons why our job is so great is because
awesome.
like there's really open to like if we're like, hey, we want to profile this guy or we want to do something kind of creative with this. For the most part, they really try to make it happen.
Well, you're both doing the soccer gods' work. I mean, that's what
Shining a light where it needs to be shined.
Soccer beacons.
Well, let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can keep track of both of your
How can they
careers.
watch all these awesome Instagram
Watch
stories?
our Instagram stories because
There's a mix
straight
of things.
fire.
Yeah. We run from coyotes.
Yeah.
We go hang out in my hometown and stalk my dad with a phone. She's met my parents. I haven't met hers yet.
Yes,
Oh,
I
boy.
know.
Oh, boy.
It's going to happen.
You had to bring that up over brunch?
Yeah, I
know. God, it's
Guys, it's at the end of brunch. This is when you bring it up.
Cut her off, guys.
Awkward.
Can we cut her off with this
Awkward.
cola?
Well, Susannah Collins, Jillian Sakovits, thank you so much,
ladies.
Thanks, guys.
for being on the show and having brunch
And
with
being
us.
a part of the soccer community.
Yeah,
You guys are-
cheers to that.
You guys are my favorite addition.
Yay!
All right, guys, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the Cooligans. We just want to break in real quick, really quickly, just to ask you to do us a huge favor. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We're probably going to mention it again, but please leave us a 5-star review on our iTunes would be amazing. But anything, really, Stitcher, Google Play, all of them, wherever you can leave us a review, 5 stars, say something nice. It would help us out so much.
And you also just heard, the interview with Susannah Collins and Jillian Sakovits. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment on that video. That'll also help us as well. We're trying to get those numbers up so that we can stop being turned away at meetings.
Oh, yeah, and it happens quite a bit. But you can help us with that. Every little bit helps. Yeah, baby, we're back.
We're back. Oh, thank you again, Susannah Collins and Jillian Sakovits for being on the show. That was awesome. And
Fun interview, and they're getting to show the supporters and what the players are doing to help the communities. I mean, this is what soccer's about.
Yeah, and the fact that we got to, have a little brunch. How about that? Doesn't hurt.
And have I not been begging to have cured meats during the show? I mean, this has been
dream come
what a
true.
whirlwind day for me. I mean, Joe Beningo, cured meats. I mean, this is it.
So,
and by the way, check the video out if you want to see what we're talking about.
That's
we
right.
put the video up on our YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you watch the videos. You can see, you can watch the interview, but you can also hear us eating those meats and see us eating those meats.
See us eating those meats.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting to everyone except me. See us eating those meats. FC Wanker supporters group.
So let's get to a couple games.
Yeah, games happened. It wasn't just our party.
Yeah. Let's go in the order that they were played in. Some were more entertaining than others, but we should talk about the Vancouver Whitecaps against RSL. Vancouver finally winning a game.
Yeah, and you might know that they were at Vancouver because of all the Arsene Wenger in posters that people were holding up.
Well, the surprising thing is, a shout out to the homies from Podcaps FC. Chris James, and I forgot his name. That's what not Justin.
Oh boy!
But we spoke to Chris James was on the show.
Yeah,
He's the
Chris James is the one we spoke to.
Who really know well. He's a stand-up comic that also
out in Vancouver.
Does a Vancouver Whitecaps podcast, and he was always even when we had him on the show, he was always very critical of Carl Robinson.
Why wouldn't you be?
Because
the guy last year only did well because he was playing park the bus soccer. It's terrible.
Yeah, so
and they got talent.
They do, and but it's interesting just hearing the Vancouver Whitecaps fans, just because it seems like maybe we're not as plugged in as some of the other some of the other clubs, but there seems to be this groundswell of people being like, all right, enough
is enough.
Last year they were like he has to go, and this year they're like it's ridiculous that he's still here.
Yeah, it kind of is to some degree. I mean, I'm sure some of the fans like his style. What I like about him is he's a very sort of forward. Manager. He answers a lot of questions. He doesn't shy away from what's being done or said.
But he's also not very he does a lot of he downplays how bad things are.
Of course,
You
but I
know?
mean that's a good manager. I mean, me as a husband, I'm like, oh, look, the garbage isn't that bad anyway. You know, we
What-
could
what?
wait another week, and
Like
we're
the
saving the
smell?
planet. You know.
The smell is it's very tolerable
Yeah.
once you get used to it.
I mean, if you think about it, you know, bacteria is alive, so we have a life that we're creating here.
it's almost our child.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why the windows are open in the dead of winter. You know, it's because the smell of birth, of life.
Oh, the smell of birth.
Yeah. But it's a new Cooligans cologne. It's gonna be red like placenta.
Oh man.
What do we do on this podcast?
Speaking of red,
And why do you listen?
Christian Teixeira did get a
This
red
is
card.
the funniest thing.
This is a very like Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
Like wow.
This clip will be shown, and people will be like, "Yeah, that's what happens in MLS."
I was actually kind of frustrated that this wasn't more publicized. This really didn't pop up on my Twitter
Well,
feed.
who's gonna talk about it? If you don't know what we're talking about, Teixeira had a yellow.
He had a
He's
yellow.
already been shown a yellow.
Yeah, he was on there was a penalty.
Yeah, he takes the penalty. He didn't cause the penalty. He takes the penalty. Immediately removes his shirt as he scores the penalty, which gets him a second yellow and a red. So he took a penalty, scored, and gets kicked out of that game in the next game.
Yeah.
And he knew it once he put the jersey back on. He was like, "Oh,
Oh,
no."
boy.
I don't understand the rule of getting getting shown a yellow, or once you take your jersey off. I think it's dumb. Everybody wants to see them abs, bruh. Show them abs, yo.
Yeah,
We need ratings.
Alexis specifically. He's
Yeah.
like, yo, why these guys got their shirts on, bro?
I know. Everybody take them off.
You guys
Why
are
don't we just do stickers of the team logo and sponsor on the abs? Let's just play shirtless out there.
I mean, that's an entertaining product you got.
I gotta be honest. Remember when Sepp Blatter said the women should wear hot shorts? Let's take it one step further. Let's get these dudes shirtless. There's like 4 or 5 guys I wouldn't want to see. Other than that, come on, they work hard for those bodies.
Yeah, well, so this is the strange thing to me. When you take a penalty, taking a penalty and scoring is not the same as Sergio Aguero winning the Premier League in the last moments of, what was it, like 2013, 2012 or something like that?
Yeah.
So that's not the equivalent. So you don't take your shirt off for just burying a penalty.
What is there? What they barely won.
There was 2-0.
I mean, I'd take my shirt off.
You've been constantly losing. It's not.
They're celebrating winning. Let them win.
But this is not the way. It's so.
This is not the sport that limits goal celebrations.
But we know this is a worldwide thing. This is not a just MLS does this.
Okay,
you take
and
your
why?
shirt off.
Why is that a rule? It's stupid.
It's You're overdoing it in your
How is
celebration.
that overdoing it? These people are jumping on each other. They got dances. They're all pretending to be on rowboats. That's overdoing it. Is removing your shirt.
I mean, look, that bar has
Also,
been
guess
set.
what he had under that? Another shirt.
He did have another
My
shirt.
man didn't even show skin.
I don't-
Again, it sounds like I'm complaining that we're not getting enough abs, but I'm saying he didn't. He removed the outer shirt. It's what you do when you go through security.
You're actually more upset that he had the undershirt
Baby,
on.
we want to see, do you got a tan or not? Is what I'm saying. No, I'm saying he didn't actually remove his shirt. He removed the outer shirt. My man still had a shirt on. Here's what I
jersey,
want.
yeah.
I want someone to remove a jersey and have the same jersey underneath it. That's what I want. Now give him a
Is
yellow.
yeah, that would be interesting. Is that
I have
a
2,
yellow
yo. Take the next one off. It's really surprising. And it's still the same one. And then it says 81 Guerreros on it. It's stupid. This is such a dumb rule. And I feel bad
weird.
for this 4'8" human being that celebrated a penalty kick for a team that's not been winning a lot.
But
A coach that's on a hot seat. And now all of a sudden he's got he looks like an asshole.
It's weird that you're more upset that this rule is in place than
Because what's the point of
this
the rule? Give me
dummy-
one good reason. Give me one good reason.
I'm just saying it.
He's a dummy. We know he's a dummy. I'm not arguing that he's a dummy.
What the hell was he thinking? He knew. I mean, I guess he didn't know he was on the yellow.
But
he
he didn't do it to be disrespectful to the other team. He was doing it.
didn't,
It was the elation of finally winning a game, and you're gonna take that away from him. Now you make him sit out a game.
They didn't win the game. It was the first goal.
What I'm saying is they're getting closer to winning. I mean, it's a penalty in the 75th minute. Geez.
Is it over? That's it. Arsenal doesn't have a chance. Look, this is a we can talk about. I'm okay with the rule. The rule's the rule. Well, everybody knows it. I don't know.
It's stupid.
It's not it's not that much of a surprise. But I guess look, if you don't like the rule, maybe that's.
Give me one good reason for the rule. I know you didn't write the rule, but what's the reason for it? Is that it's disrespectful to the other team? I don't know how.
No, I don't think it's disrespect. I think
that's what it is.
It's just. I think it's just. The uniform is the uniform, right? There has to be some rules, right? Didn't Neymar get a yellow for putting the boot on his head after he scored?
Yeah,
I think so. So there's like certain
treating it like a phone. It's so dumb.
There's certain rules that are in place to whatever the uniform, and there's very few. For the most part, soccer is the most lax when it comes to this stuff. But there's a couple.
Well, they're
rules.
tyrants, is what I want to say.
But there's so many more cooler celebrations.
Look, MLS has VAR. Premier League said no to it. Okay, we've tried dope things before. We've tried dumb things before. We need to get rid of this rule. Everyone can take their shirt off. And it's not, again, this sounds like I want men to take their shirts off.
Take your shirts off.
Come on, sweaty man. Come on. You know what? Show everyone your glistening body. We'll practice inside with just me, and then we'll go outside. Honestly, it's so dumb. If you're that excited that you take your shirt off, who cares? You take your shorts off. All right, now we're really talking. No, I'm joking. Now we're talking about yellow
Alexis
card.
is gonna be the first guy to audition like players like a video vixen, like a music video, like a rap video shoot.
I mean, you can't shake it. You ain't getting the video, ma.
You ain't getting in this game. You ain't getting minutes. You ain't showing me.
I mean,
you got 6 abs. Maybe I'll get you 60 minutes. I'll
well,
see what I can do.
You got that V, my guy. What I'm trying to say is this is dumb. Look, no one's showing off like in an appropriate part of their body. They're not doing something physically disrespectful to the other team. There's nothing about it that to me it says you look at someone who's just celebrating finally scoring with his team finally taking a lead. This terrible, terrible, boring team to watch. And now you give him you show him a second yellow and he gets a red for that. I mean, and now he's got to sit out the rest of that game in the next one. In other words, hurting his team, even though they did score without him.
Yes, and also all of this is his fault. So let's not lose sight of that.
You're not wrong, but still, it's dumb to me.
I mean, you called them boring, but the game actually had an exciting moment when Breck Shea hit all 3 posts, which was exciting.
I've never seen this before.
I don't think I've ever seen this either.
By the way, exciting to only us. Breck Shea would tell you this is not the highlight of his career.
Breck Shea takes a shot that hits the left post, bounces
careens
up,
off the crossbar,
and then
comes down, bounces, and then hits the right post. I mean, I was like, they don't want you to win. By whatever they is whatever God you either believe or don't believe in. Vishnu kept that out of there.
Yeah, that was a weird one. So let's move on. Next game up was Atlanta United against Montreal Impact. Atlanta.
So loud, by the way. I mean, the fans are, it's louder than the game itself. The announcers, it's amazing.
Another great turnout. I expected this game to be kind of a rout. I thought Montreal was just gonna get embarrassed, right? But they end up scoring the first goal and going. The first goal from Atlanta doesn't come until the 70th minute. So for that time, I'm like, yo, Montreal's gonna get this,
especially that what is Tadir, right? The Tadir goal.
Safir Tadir, yeah.
I mean, I saw that and I was like, uh-oh.
Okay.
Maybe Atlanta's gonna have one of them slip-up games.
Yeah,
and then Atlanta found their scoring touch.
and Piatti was cutting fools up. I mean, we've talked about Piatti quite a bit on this show.
Needs to get out of there,
I mean, one of the best just dribblers in the league. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but just so deceptive, and where people are just tripping up all over themselves trying to cover this guy.
He's got to get out of Montreal.
Yes, you did mention that.
He has to. That dude needs to take his shirt off at his contract negotiation.
He's fun. He's fun to watch. I mean, and he's important for Montreal. I like him there. I think he's a.
I would love if Montreal built around him. And look, I mean, Remy Gard is not that bad of a manager, and he's clearly got a game plan. But imagine him on like I don't even know, on a Seattle.
Sure. Yeah. And Seattle could use someone there very badly.
Anyone.
We'll talk about them a little bit later. But this game, Amidong buries the penalty after the handball. I forgot who hit it, but I know it was Chris McCann that headed it, and it was a handball. But really, this show was really the Amidong show, and then really just he got shown up. Yeah. By the substitute Kevin Kratz.
Kratz. Kratz.
came into this game, and I mean, really, Giovinco the game.
I mean, he Simoned it, is what he did.
I mean, he's almost a combination of both of those guys.
Yeah.
They're free kicks, right? He has a bit more power, I think, than Giovinco. Maybe not that accuracy.
He doesn't have the cannon that Simon has.
Come
But
on.
yeah, I
But
mean,
it's-
this goal came, I want to say it came completely out of nowhere, but it seemed like everyone knew he was going to do it. Maybe it was just us who didn't know that this was in his tool belt, because
Yeah.
my God.
he did it.
Free kick,
he got-
starts to bend right, and it just kisses the post.
Yeah, that was the second one. The first one, what I mean, like there's nothing you can do. I mean, and he wasn't that close. I mean,
No.
he's puts some real bend on it and power that Evan Bush the first one he couldn't reach it. The second one he didn't even try. Because that's it. There's not much you can do. It is weird that those two goals happened, and one, frankly, I was like, how is this guy just in the league? Like,
Yeah.
and nobody, and he's just on the bench.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yo, Montreal. Spend some of that TAM, yo.
he's just on the bench, and maybe he'll get. I mean, the lineup. Look, we know the squad in Atlanta. It's hard to get minutes. You really have to play well. But I mean, it's similar to, you know, when Toronto, when Giovinco gets fouled anywhere, almost
You're like,
anywhere,
oh, God, here's a
everybody's like,
score.
oh boy. That to me, that's like, well, get Kratz in there.
Yeah.
He should be
Kratz is the guy.
He should be playing more minutes if that's an option. And there was a great moment after, because Almiron was sitting on a hat trick, and Kratz lines up. This is in stoppage time, and Almiron is like, "Oh, I'm gonna take him and try to get this hat trick." And Kratz is like, "Nah, bro."
Dog, you in the Kratz zone. It's Kratz season right now.
You know, like in Blue Man Group, that the wet zone or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's a Kratz zone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You should have brought your tarp. We're about to smash a watermelon. You're in the Kratz zone.
I'll make that net very wet right now.
Yeah. Oh, that net gonna shake. You can take your hat trick, put it in your pocket, my guy.
But yeah, it really felt like if that handball hadn't happened, I think they lose this game, or at least, or maybe not get 3 points. But Atlanta just turned it on. Almiron was, again,
he was on one. I mean,
was-
he's one of those guys he's running past people at a speed.
He's just
That's not fair.
yeah.
It looks like, you know, like when they do the game, like the two professionals versus 100 kids.
yes.
And one of them finds clearance.
Yes.
It's that. It's exactly that.
But even worse, when it comes to just his pace, it's like Usain Bolt going up against just a child.
Yeah.
And he's just so much faster than almost all these midfielders that are defending against him. He's a real problem. I mean, I just hope ever since we saw Tajuri Sharati pull up hamstring. I'm like, he's just gonna be taking bodies.
Yeah.
Like ripping up.
Everybody's gonna be pulling tendons trying to chase
But he
this
did
guy
hurt.
down.
He did get hurt. He hurt himself last year. I think he had a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
And that's always my worry. I mean, he's so fast.
And that's what made him stronger.
And that's always my worry. I'm like, damn, these dudes are gonna just like blow their hamstrings out, like trying too hard.
Yeah.
But he's just. It's wild. That's really.
But Atlanta plays in one speed. Either they show up or they don't.
Yeah.
And really, when they do, it's, 4-1. We were saying at the NYCFC game, we were hoping they score another one just to keep up with the goal differential.
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah. They've been scoring a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about a game that was, Toronto FC is back in the league, essentially. They lost CCL in penalties.
And they're carrying that form right back to MLS.
But they
were fielding basically like an NPSL team before that. I mean, they didn't have many people none of their best players were really playing in MLS. And, their record shows it. They're 6-1-4. 6 games played. They're 1-4-1.
1-4-1. Yeah.
They got 4 points on the season so far.
They got
it's
a
the
long...
worst in the league. Well, I'm sorry, with Seattle.
They got a long way to go if they're gonna even try to make a playoff spot. So it's not. CCL. They were definitely putting all their effort into that. But now that the season is back, it's like, all right, well then you got to get back to work. This one still goes on, right?
Yeah.
So they're
going to try to repeat.
Repeat.
You better get your ass in them playoffs if you want to.
Maybe you get 6. Try real hard.
I mean, wild card? Can we get a wild card?
The game starts early goal. Jonathan Osorio, another great the chip from Victor Vasquez. But they're up 2-0. You hear Toronto up 2-0 against Chicago. You're
like locked.
They got this. And you know, we sort of started seeing the issues that they have a lot of injuries defensively. A lot of the center backs couldn't. I don't know how you lose all your center backs, but like Drew Moore, Mavinga, they're all everybody's gone.
Yeah, which by the way, the CCL final they played with just outside backs.
Yes,
all across their back line,
and they did, but they were up 2-0, and they were playing that same exact way.
Yeah,
but. They give up a penalty that Bastian Schweinsteiger misses that Bono stops and then the homie Alan Gordon
doing what he does,
bringing it back the greatest hits.
My guy doesn't show up until the 80th minute, maybe
it feels like it, you know, but
he's stretching before that. I mean, the guy stoppage time, he's just a stoppage time wonder, you know. He's just one of those guys.
That should be his name, Alan Stoppage Time Gordon.
Yeah, it really is.
And he scores a late goal to tie the game. But this was just another game where like Toronto seemed, you know, too dominant for Chicago. Chicago still has like issues like kind of in the midfield. Also, oddly enough, Dax McCarty, him and I share the same birthday.
Hey,
April 30th. Also, you know, it was also another April 30th baby, Jesus Medina.
Whoa!
Look at this.
Who's May 1st?
I don't know, bro.
Just me. That's all. That's kind of the way I preferred, if we're being completely honest.
It's Joe Benigno.
Oh, my God. That'd be great. I know everyone says this is May Day. Nah, son, it's my day. Okay?
So I was genuinely surprised that Chicago was able to get a point out of this. But they were trying their best towards the end of the game. And still, Bastian Schweinsteiger still is, like, playing everywhere. I don't know what the hell's going on there? It seems like the team is in a little bit of disarray, and he seems so frustrated. He seems angry most of the time playing. Like not angry at his teammates necessarily. But,
of course he is.
But he's clearly like whatever the system that they're trying to work is like. There seems to be some miscommunication. So he seems very frustrated throughout the game. Whether that's just him and his competitive edge,
right? But
it's not the best of like body language.
No, and it makes it look bad. But you know, you want someone to be competitive anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just look. They're getting points here and there. They won against the Red Bulls. They got a tough point against Toronto. So you know, things are probably gonna. Where are they at in the standings in Chicago? I don't think they're in the playoff spot.
It's not great. They're in seventh.
All right.
Just out of it, but by 4 points.
They had a rough start.
12 points for the Red Bulls. Just below him or just below them, Chicago Fire.
Yeah. So let's talk about Sporting Kansas City. They went to Gillette Stadium to play against the Revolution. This game. This is my take. New England is becoming this team where, like, if you watch a game against New England, you are gonna get a bad, unentertaining game. They make the game dull. They make the game boring. They shut down like.
And Brad Friedel was like, "We're gonna be exciting," and blah blah blah.
That's
blah,
not.
blah.
That's not. Look, they're a good team. I'm not gonna take anything away from that. They're playing their style. They're playing it well, and you know a lot of people.
Their fans are like, "Who cares? We're winning."
Yeah. And they won this game 1-0, but really on a very, very controversial call that I'm of the opinion that this is a clear flaw from with the video system referee. Like this video review, this is like a thing that should be adjusted in some way. Well, where Teal Bunbury scores this goal, he's clearly in offside position, and the ball gets hit by a defender.
So it's essentially he picks up a bad pass, if you will,
or deflection. Essentially, like the defender.
Well, it's not because the defender kicked it away from the offensive person. I forget who it is. The offensive member, and it goes directly to the feet of Teal Bunbury. So it was not passed to him by his own player.
Yeah. So I think it was Espinoza that kicked the ball that ended up getting to Bunbury.
Right.
What a name? Teal. What kind of name is that? It's just a
teal. It's a color.
It's just strange name.
Well, his brother Periwinkle Bunbury, he likes it very much.
So
I really thought you were going to add another one, so we didn't just end on Periwinkle. But
no, it's fine. I don't even know what color periwinkle is.
What's
it
like
similar to?
A little iridescent.
I don't know what that is either.
I might be wrong. I just wanted to use the word iridescent. It's like a gray blue, light blue.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to look it up while you do that.
But my problem with that call is like the assistant referee. Yeah, it's a little bluish.
It's in the blue and violet family, and the name is derived from a lesser periwinkle or myrtle herb.
It's just
which bears flowers of the same color. The color periwinkle is also called lavender blue.
It's so amazing what you're capable of and what really the range of your vocabulary where you call Will Ferrell and then you know periwinkle and you know incandescent. So, iridescent, right? My issue with this whole thing is basically that the assistant referee raises the offside flag. Clearly, all the defenders stop playing because they see the offside flag.
Yeah.
Teal Bunbury's like, I know I'm offside, but let me just kick this puppy in there.
I mean, what do they say? Play to the whistle, right?
Play to the whistle. The whistle did not blow, but that is such a weird thing because when the assistant referee raises the flag, what else would you do? You stop, right?
Teal didn't think he scored.
Teal totally did not think he scored.
He knew he kicked the ball in the net. He didn't think it counted.
Yeah, this is a scenario where, like, by the book, yes, the goal counts.
But it's VAR gone too far.
It kind of is.
It's gone too far.
Well, I don't understand why is it why didn't the referee blow the whistle when the assistant referee raised the offside flag? That's like, wouldn't that make sense? Isn't that what your assistant ref is there for? Why wouldn't you listen to their suggestion and let the play go on?
I don't know, but if you're New England, you're happy they didn't. If you're Sporting Kansas City, you're like, hey, blow that damn whistle.
Even if you are New England, you kind of feel like, oh, this is like a cheap goal.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All right.
Remember that song?
Yeah, Too Short.
Was it Keek the Sneak was in on that one?
Too Short.
I think Keek the Sneak featured on that joint. All right, now I got to look that up too, right next to Periwinkle. Remember when we had that episode?
Look, our northern, California fans might be they want to make sure we get this right.
Yeah, for all those Bay fans.
No, but there's no.
There was a remix. I guarantee you, there was a remix.
Why is this important?
It was Tupac. All right, never mind. I'm telling you.
And you know how people always confuse Tupac with Keek the Sneak.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
They're both very memorable artists.
All right, so. So I think it's a dumb thing. In that scenario, if all the defenders stop playing, and a goal goes in, I get that it's the right call, but it still feels terrible. It was not the right thing.
It's one of those things that, like, all right, so VAR helps in certain instances, it doesn't in others. You can't institute something like this and then say it's gone too far. That's kind of the point. But I also don't want to get to the point where every 10 minutes is another VAR review.
Yeah, but it is one of those. Look, it has to be clear and obvious. That to me, that's like you don't give him the goal. It's not clear and obvious. I mean, I get that the defender was trying to clear the ball, but like, it's about clarity. Even I'm watching the replay, it didn't necessarily seem super clear that the Sporting.
Well, no, you could tell in the review that it's true that it did. I mean, by the letter of the law, he's allowed to score that goal. Yeah,
but I don't know about clear. The word clear and obvious. It's not clear to me that the defender is the one that got the ball to Bunbury. Maybe did or didn't. I mean, I think I would say maybe 80%. Look, they both sort of went for the ball.
No, it had to be clear because it's obvious that no one thought he scored. Even the goal scorer didn't think he scored. So it would have been very easy if it wasn't clear that you're just like, all right, not a goal, and everyone goes their merry way.
I don't know.
He called it a goal. To me, that must have been clear.
It's just whatever. This is like my first real issue with VAR. Like this is like a flaw. This is a VAR flaw that needs to be resolved.
What, that it worked?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, what a real flaw.
That's what I'm. That's what.
What
I'm,
if VAR takes its shirt off? Now we're talking. Hey.
Okay, so let's Minnesota against Houston. Minnesota wins a game.
Yeah. Congrats, Darwin Quintero looking good.
Quintero looking good.
Can we be done talking about Minnesota now?
But Ibsen with surprising. You don't really expect this from Minnesota. You don't expect too much style from Minnesota, but they got the late winner in the 70th minute. A back heel that nutmegged the defender as well.
It's a back heel nutmeg that still finds its way to the back of the net, which is really impressive.
Very, very impressive. Look,
I also like a guy with one name, you know?
Oh, sure.
Like a good Ibsen, you know?
Madonna, Ibsen, just
Cher,
just all legends in the game.
Legends, Ibsen.
The
gay legend, Ibsen. Just like Madonna and Cher.
Oh, you're not saying he's gay. He's just
no.
All his
the gays
fans
love him. Gays love him.
The gays are. He's been embraced.
He's been embraced
by the gays.
He's been embraced by us. Which reminds me, Ibsen, take your shirt off if you score, my God.
I mean,
the fans want
it's
to
really
see
what
it.
are you waiting for?
I mean, the fans are asking for it.
But now you made all this shirtless.
Oh, did I
stuff.
fluster you? I'm sorry.
Confused me. I forgot what I was about to.
Someone get him another cup of Soylent. He's flustered.
I forgot what I was about to say.
You don't normally see this kind of action out of Minnesota.
I remember. So I was watching this game, and the last 20 minutes of Minnesota United soccer when they're in a lead is. Even when they're not leading.
Absolute bedlam.
It's just when you can see Adrian, he's like, all right, everybody.
Bugger now.
Everybody.
Let's get 20 guys out there.
Can I guess a couple guys on the bench and just to lay in front of
What about we have 9 outfielders, and we get 2 goalkeepers? Is that allowed in the rule books?
Yeah, there is a real and props to the Minnesota United fans because there were so many people there and they do after wins, which we don't get to see very often, but they all sing Wonderwall. We were singing.
Which, by the way, I know a lot of fans were complaining about. Some people making fun of them for it. It's actually kind of dope.
It's beautiful. It's awesome. Yeah,
and they've been doing that since they were in the lower division. So don't take this away from them.
So the reason we don't talk about it is because they do not win soccer games.
Right? They don't get to sing it over.
So let them have a little. Let them have this one. So yeah, it is always wildly entertaining watching those games. Look, and I'm more than anything, I think Minnesota is capable of scoring a couple goals here and there. That's fine. It's just the defensive issues that are just such a big problem. That when they succeed defensively, we got to give them a little applause. I mean, good on them.
Come on, huh?
Held on and kept the 3 points. So
good job, guys. And Darwin Quintero looking great.
Yeah, he did. He did look great. So he's gonna. I think there's somebody else coming to Minnesota. I forgot who it was. Another. I know
who you're talking about.
I think it's a Tampa.
No, Horta. It's Horta.
No, that's LAFC.
Oh, that's right. He's going to LAFC. That's the Benfica guy.
Yeah. There's somebody else coming in, but they need a little bit more help, and especially now with Ethan Finley injured towards ACL. Yeah. So that's
gone. Like he left. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
So it's a huge bummer for them. But hopefully somebody can to replace him and do something. Or maybe they sign somebody, but they're gonna have a big issue, especially given that this is a World Cup year. There's not many options available until after the World Cup. So let's talk about a couple other games real quick. Let's go. New York Red Bulls.
They beat LA Galaxy at home.
This was at
their home.
Great game.
Red Bull play effortlessly in front of goal, which is very annoying to watch.
Sure.
BWP is sending crosses at the last second, very effortlessly, very smooth.
He got 2 assists.
Yeah.
We're not used to seeing BWP being I was calling him Bradley Wright Question out there. It was. I mean, maybe he's like he has a different role on this team. The
older he gets, the further back he goes. He's going to be goalkeeper in 5 years.
But
he is a little bit of a number 10 where they're playing, but Jesse Marsh has them where they're all sort of replaceable parts. Everyone can move around. It's a very total football style, the closest I think we have to it in MLS.
Yeah, it makes me more excited about seeing these two, NYCFC and Red Bulls, play against each other this coming weekend.
That's right, we're going.
Yeah, so
we're going to be there. So Red Bull fans, Please be nice to us.
Plenty of Rebel fans are nice to us.
A lot of them.
A lot of them are. Some
Yeah.
people are. Some are
of
not.
them, the ones who are apparently banned, aren't that nice to us. But everyone else is really cool with us.
But more than anything,
Should we go to a tailgate? Should we go to one of those Rebel tailgates?
a Rebel tailgate. I don't know how
Wearing our NYCFC gear?
I don't know how nice they'll be about that.
Let us know if you're fans of the show and you're Rebel fans. Would we be welcome at Catas or at one of those other places, wherever it is you guys hang out? Would we be welcomed if we're wearing our NYCFC gear just to interview you guys? See
Yeah.
what you think of us.
It's a fair question.
And by welcome, I mean stop throwing beers at us. Is that possible?
But
We're not going to go to the GSU bar. We get that. We don't want to get hit with a sandwich board, but we will. Are there fans that would talk to us?
okay, it's a fair question. So look, the Rebels score 2 goals early. They scored 1 goal early, and then another one before the. This is in the second half. But they more than anything, the LA Galaxy have looked really bad. I think that's a big. They're starting these games
Up and down. They still haven't figured out how to all play together because Giovanni Dos Santos is scoring, and he's looking a little bit better. Like he's actually involved now.
Yeah.
Ola Kamara and Zlatan are kind of figuring it out.
Issues,
it's not yet.
That's
Still early.
Yeah, because it almost like Zlatan is definitely more the playing back than Ola. Ola got the goal. He got the assist from.
Hello.
Got the assist from Zlatan, which is a great pass. But it's clearly Kamara's the younger guy. Go forward, have fun out there.
Right.
I'm gonna bang these from 40 yards out.
Right.
So they know the role a little bit, but there is the problem with them is that they're both forwards, and Zlatan is used to playing with world-class midfielders.
Well, yeah. Welcome to MLS, all right? There's not that much damn going around.
But the problem that causes is when the ball is up front, there's not much dynamic play going on.
Also, he played on a team with Fellaini on it, so let's not act like he's used to having world-class talent around him at all times. I've seen Smalling play. I've seen Fellaini
just
play.
won. He just won. He's won. What was the game they played again? The weekend.
Well, let me guess. They lumped it forward and he headed it in. Oh my God, real world-class.
You know what he do?
Listen, yeah, Andy Carroll with that touched an electric socket. Everybody relax.
But look, that was sort of the main concern. LA Galaxy looked really, really bad, but they had 2 goals turned away or taken back. There was a clear offside from Ola Kamara, and it was a great play. It would have been great if it counted.
It was a great dummy to Roman Alessandrini was like, "What do you mean I'm offside? It's not you." Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And but then the second one, which was the goal from
That breaks
Zlatan,
your heart a little bit.
That one, again, it's just it's not clear. It's like I thought Zlatan's head
and arm,
and no, but the arm does not count for.
But like
offside.
his shoulder does.
Oh, I don't know about that. But
shoulder and chest.
His shoulder seems to be in line with the defender's foot.
You know what we need? We need the scarf that Chattanooga FC put together. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
It says the offside rule, and the entire thing has small script explaining the rule. It's the entire 1.5 sides are covered in it. Genius, Chattanooga FC fans. Genius.
So look, we're looking at the picture right now, and it really, it's not clear. That's all.
You keep saying clear. I mean,
just about clarity, right? That's
yeah.
important.
Well, yeah, that's what clear means.
The defender's foot. Which I believe that's Tim Parker. His foot seems to be in line with Zlatan's shoulder.
Yeah.
So in that instance, this would not be an offside call.
No.
I don't know. So
it's not clear.
So they were making it. In the post game, Galaxy were really pointing out like this. They were trying to be as politically correct as possible, and not like I'm trying to do that. I'm not here, so I don't get fined, kind of thing. And they were saying that like Zlatan was saying like they got it wrong. Like this is just not a call that you make. And
they did. But here's what I want to point out: the 5 players who scored: Daniel Royer, Florian Velout, Ola Kamara, Giovanni Dos Santos, and Kaku.
Yeah,
that sounds like the menu item in like a Romanian diner. That is the most international 5 names: Daniel Royer, Florian Velout, or Velout. I don't know how to pronounce it. Velout. Ola Kamara, Giovanni Dos Santos, and Kaku. That is so, like, there's not one American involved in that game whatsoever.
Well, yeah, that's
Again, men's national team doing a great job.
All right, so look, a couple.
I mean, why are we even talking about?
Orlando wins their 5th in a row. So
congratulations, off the hot seat, gotta be now, right?
I mean, like, what else is it gonna take?
That seat's air conditioned at this point, baby. He's good.
I saw the Orlando City players having dinner in Colorado. They were like, "Yo, we're good. 3 points.
Everything legal here.
Pass,
we're good.
pass the clams, pass the weed."
Yeah.
So they were having a good time.
The clams are infused. Oh my god!
But this is kind of surprising from Orlando. Just what happened? They just turned. Dom Dwyer gets there. And he's like, "All right, done losing, everybody. Enough."
Dom Dwyer, man, I made fun of his inclusion. I said that this was MLS 2.0. All right, I was wrong. So far, looking pretty good. Pretty good. He makes that team tick. NYCFC beats FC Dallas for the first time in their history.
Yes.
Which was great. Beat them at home 3-1. Wish it was 4-1. And David Villa. This is our boss, El Jefe, El Guaje. El Guaje Jefe. El Guaje Jefe. This is what he does.
Hitting the 400 mark.
Here's the best part. All right, so he scores a penalty. That's the 400th goal. Couple minutes later, gets a yellow card for nothing. And he's like, "What, son? What?" And he immediately turns around, runs, and scores a goal. And I mean, that is the European version of Clint Dempsey ripping the notebook. He's like, "Yo, son, I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. You're not good at your job. Watch what I'm going to do."
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I was like, "This was for your mama, dog. You show me a yellow? This right here?
He was
this
like,
for your mama."
"Yo, give me that yellow, and also give me that goal."
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take that yellow. Also, could you hold this goal I'm about to score on him right now? By the way, this was all your fault. This got nothing to do with FC Dallas.
This goal was against you. All right?
Much respect to FC Dallas, but I'm going to have to score on them to disrespect you right now.
So, but a great game. The Yankee Stadium was rocking again, and a big win for NYCFC, and they go back up to the top of the Supporters Shield standing.
Yep,
so.
20 points from 9 games. Atlanta United has a game in hand at 19 points with 8 games won.
Yeah,
8 games played.
And I was watching that Montreal game, and I was just like, yo, I hope because our Atlanta United friends were all like watching the NYCFC game against Portland. They were like, "Yeah, glad they lost." I'm like, "All right, that's that what we're doing?" Slow down,
my guy, because I remember first week of the season. Okay.
Okay, right. When nobody was, being that harsh.
I was like, soccer Cooligans are gonna lose. My guy, we're not the team.
All right, so yo, tone it down. I mean, we're not even playing y'all right now. So
I know.
So
you're thinking about us even when we ain't there.
So and also shout out to Jay Riddle and Kelly Francis starting a new podcast,
Unrelegated.
Check that
the
out.
artwork is very, very cool. It's like the two of them. One of them's got she's got wine in her hand.
Yeah,
he's sleeveless with the tattoo showing. It's awesome.
It's great. So check them out. They're another Atlanta United podcast. They keep talking about it, but they're two great people and supporters of this show. So go check them out as well. They're super, super great. So
and they get drunk on the podcast. I mean, what's better than that?
That's the point. I mean, we do meats and they and they get wasted.
They do wine. We need a podcast that does cheese. The three of us comes together. Another brunch.
And last game, and we got to get into this a little bit. Seattle Sounders. Oh, they go there they're visiting the Bank of California Stadium, and they, Seattle kind of wanted some revenge after that. Was it the first game that?
Yeah, and they didn't get it.
Yeah, LAFC played their first game against the Seattle Sounders at CenturyLink Field. So they don't forget that loss. No. The expansion team came in and just beat us on their first game.
We can't let that happen. We need to go to their house and show them what's up. And they were like, "Oh my God, they have a Falcon."
There's a Falcon here, and I'm worried it's going to attack me. Will Ferrell is going to send it and attack me.
It's Will Ferrell, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Don't do this all show, correcting my mistakes. We'll be here all day. But look, the game was great. I mean, look, I sort of expected the same thing, right? The first game ended 1-0. This game also ends 1-0. I thought it was going to be 0-0. This, I mean, there's no other story. Look, everybody was great, and I know some of our Sounders friends were like,
Seattle deserved a point.
Seattle clearly deserved a point.
Yeah,
but
Laurent Simon was like, nah. Nah, Simon, son.
And also, Stephen Frei is like, nah, I don't want this point.
All right, I'm gonna let you have it.
I'm gonna let you.
It's your housewarming.
Have all
I get
three.
it.
I mean, I don't want to ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole big show. But no, Stephen Frei, I mean, that's really the story of the game. I mean, let's not be
It
crazy.
really is.
Stephen Frei just is a howler, right? I mean, could he have saved that? Or was Laurent Simon's shot was just that powerful?
I mean, we've seen him stop more powerful shots, and it was from much further away.
Yeah.
And it was kind of not going far from where he was headed anyway. It's not like he stretched really that far. It was just a bit of a flub.
Yeah. I mean, there were people saying that, I know Bobby Boswell tweeted out, like, that was like a knuckle puck, you know, like from
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, look, first of all, the power behind it was pretty impressive. The fact that it was heading down and to the side, you didn't know which way it was going, but he got to it, and he let it go. But Simon celebrated like no one saw it coming. Simon celebrated like it never got touched.
Look,
and the whole team celebrated. Bob Bradley almost died in that celebration. He's getting yanked in each direction. He's getting kissed.
It was surprising to me the positioning that Stephen Frei chose to try to stop that ball, because he tried to like scoop it, but the ball was hit hard enough where he had to parry it away. I mean, it was hit.
It was a weird scoop. He tried to parry it with like his forearm.
Yeah,
and he
and
did parry it right into the goal.
And I just hate. We met Stephen Frei, good guy,
Great guy,
great dude.
Still an American hero.
American with
Kale.
that doesn't take anything away.
Also, they really all their fans took real heat. They gave us heat for our tweet.
Oh, sure, not all. Some people,
No,
but
we got a little heat.
You get. Look, everybody gets. Do we make fun of NYCFC?
Everybody gets it.
Everybody, we make fun.
We're not Michelle Wolf, okay? Everybody gets it.
We remember when David Villa had the breakaway early this year.
Yeah, and he missed.
And like he just didn't pass it to anyone.
Yeah, did it again at this
I
game,
did.
the Dallas
so
game,
we were making fun of that. So it's like
Yeah.
everybody gets it. You know, we make fun of ourselves. That's it. So there's no.
Everybody gets kratz.
Yeah, and there's no love lost. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
We're comedians who try to talk about this game. All right, it's better
Everybody
to make
gets
the
it.
joke than to not make it at all.
Exactly.
All right, so
All right.
but I still feel bad for Stephen Frei. It was rough.
Absolutely. They deserved a point. They did not get it. They sit with 4 at the bottom of everything, along with Toronto FC, 2 of the teams that were in both of the last MLS Cup finals, both sitting at the bottom of their division. So, Awesome week for MLS. Awesome week for us. Awesome week for our fans, all of our new fans. Thanks so much for being here.
Happy birthday again, Alexis.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you, Christian Polanco.
Thank you. I feel like every time we get to another birthday, we always like better and more exciting things happen.
Oh, absolutely.
For the
And we need to
Cooligans.
do Cooligans Fest even bigger next year.
Yeah, we need to go crazy. So thank you again for everybody again who said happy birthday. A lot of people said a lot of nice things. A lot of people liked my Brandy Chastain photo.
Yeah, very nice.
It was
very nice.
A fun thing.
Beautiful
There's gonna be a fun photo coming from NYC Footy from the team photo.
Cooligans FC.
Cooligans
yeah.
FC. There's a fun photo coming. So
well, look out, boys! A fun photo.
Remember the guy who wanted people shirtless, and then when it happens,
I didn't know you were wearing one of those trackers under there.
So again, thank you again for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes or any podcast platform that you listen to the show on. Make
5 stars, my
leave
guy.
a review. Tell us happy birthday in the review. That's totally fine.
Just say that.
Just say-
YERRRRRR.
Yeah, get add yurt to the Cooligans glossary that you're building. Thank you again for listening. You guys are the absolute best. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
Not just 2 people that love you. We're also
The Cooligans!